Oh.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
And a very special guest this week. James Farley's with us.
Just look. Okay, fine. Go on. Move on.
No Matt Murray this week. But we have I'm going to say a much better presenter in place of him. Ian Lee's back on the show. Hello, Ian.
Where is he? Where is he?
There you are. I can see.
My mother's
It's you.
very proud.
You're Ian. You're Ian Lee, aren't you?
There we go. There he is.
How
Hello,
you doing?
everybody.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. I've made the mistake of eating 2 bowls of like a bean chili, and it is giving me terrible indigestion. So I'm going to be
Thundering its way through you.
Well, hopefully it's not going to be quite as violent as that, but it will. I will be doing little burps.
Little question about that. You know the beans are good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart.
Yes,
the
I
more
know.
you fart, the more you eat. The more you...
I didn't know there was a
I
second.
never got this far.
There is.
Yeah.
The more you fart, the more you eat, the more you sit on the toilet seat. That's it, right? That's the end of it. Yeah, that was it, right?
This is better than when I found out there was another half to Blood is Thicker Than Water.
What's that then? Hang on. What's the second after that?
Have you never?
Cum
Well, sorry,
is thinner than hair.
It's, so you know, people use that
Not if
phrase
it's
to
been a
mean.
while. Go on.
People use that phrase to mean like, oh no, family's the most important thing.
And not if you've got a hair like James Farley. Family's got the most important thing.
That's just outrageous. Why are
can
you
you be
bringing
quiet?
that up now?
just...
Why are you bringing that
So
up now?
the original phrase is actually the opposite. It's the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, i.e. the bonds you make with people through actual life experience are more important than who you happen to be related to. But for some reason, they just cut those few words out and completely made it the opposite
All right.
thing.
So,
Sorry, video
but
games
also-
podcast. Hello.
but also, beans are good for your heart. The more
Yeah.
you eat, the more you fart, right?
yeah.
But the more you fart, the more you eat, the more you sit on the toilet seat. So, you know,
The more,
it's
the
full
more you
circle.
fart, the more you eat. Let's just break that down.
Let's not.
Do you know
let's
the
not get into it.
The American version has a different lyric?
Go on.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more
The
you
more
eat,
you
the
eat,
more
the
you
more you
toot.
toot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, that was on The Simpsons. That's how I know that one.
Yeah. Seriously though, who eats more when they fart? That's what I'm really stuck on.
I
this.
think I can understand that because you want to keep
Yeah.
fueling it, don't you?
No.
James is going. James is going. Little more room, a little bit of food.
I was
Little
gonna
more room in
I was
there.
gonna play this to my kids. Probably past now. Probably past.
How did that
I
go
love
from
this
school
stuff.
to school? How did you hear about? Like, I don't get. Like, it's like Chinny Reckon. How does someone that goes to school like up in Manchester know that as well as someone who goes to school in? Like, how's that happen? How's that pass across the? It's like the coronavirus, but for Chinny Reckons.
Bit
Is
more
that
fun.
how it works? You show someone, they go, "That's brilliant. I'm going to tell another school."
And nick that. Yeah, literally would.
Or
have
do you
to
reckon
just
Chris
spread person to
Akabusi
person,
used to go from school to school and do it, and it's like promotions?
See, the thing is almost certainly there's been research done on this. Like, definitely somebody's
Really?
gone
There
was
around
that
and tried
thing,
to work this
was
out.
it the
yeah.
New York Times did that online tool where basically it would guess where in the UK. I don't know why. It might not have been the New York Times. It was an American publication, but it
Yeah.
could guess where in the UK you grew up by saying like, what do you call a bread roll? What do you use to mean you're
Or
tired
what do you
or
call
whatever?
it?
And it
Yeah.
was yeah.
Well, there's a map of Tag. If you look it up, there's a British map of Tag.
right.
And all the different regions, because we used to call it Had when I was at school. We called it Had, but that's like a tiny little part. I was in Slough. It's a tiny little part of just west of London. You got Tig, Tag, all these silly names.
That's all gone now though, because every kid calls it cheese touch because of Bluey.
No, they don't.
Have
No,
you
they
fucking
don't.
made that up? Cheese
Nope.
touch. I've
Cheese
not
touch.
seen that
That's what they all
episode.
We
call
should
it.
call it
Honestly,
it.
Blue, yeah, well, you called it as well. Anyway, welcome to the Computer Game Show, the show about computer games. We'd like to shout our Patreon producers out for this month. They are the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safers Records, Sam Higton, Jonathan Edwards, Tom S, Ryan Cobain, Josh Hunt, Yorn McCule, and loads more cock. No, Stan. That's a new Full Nels member who enjoyed the more cock joke from last week's show. You can help support the show by going to patreon.com/TCGS. Different tiers. There's a bonus show coming out tomorrow as we're recording, yesterday as this goes live. And
I didn't
it's
follow that at all. Was it?
spooky.
That was like a time travel adventure.
Yeah, it was. It was like a choose your own adventure book. If you would
definitely
like
was an
the show to
adventure.
come out yesterday, go to page 8. Yes, the show's. I mean, it's an interesting one. It's the Halloween spooktacular episode, in which all 4 of us brought our own spooky stories to tell on the podcast. Short stories that we got from the internet, and we read them out to each other. And if that doesn't excite you to sign up to Patreon to listen to that, Sean also got a bit narky with me at one point. So a little bit of drama in the middle there. A little bit drama, a little bit awkward in the middle there. So you get to hear that little
I'd
nugget.
already forgotten about that, but clearly.
I hadn't. I woke up this morning and did a super edit of us all going, yeah, let's interrupt each other's stories. And then you having a go at me for interrupting you and almost
You
sent
did
it.
it
And thought,
loads.
I
This is a
told
bit
you
petty,
it's
isn't
because
it?
Sean assumes that the interrupting would be for my story, not
Yeah,
his. That's why.
Well, isn't it
Absolutely
interesting? I have a story that I cannot tell on here, but I'll text the WhatsApp group about. I was on a famous comedy panel show many years ago, and a very famous comedian went absolutely batshit because I interrupted one of their jokes and was furious. And every time I went to do a bit, he kept turning at me, going, "Go on, then. Let's see what you've got. Let's see." And I just went, "Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to bother." And it was a very, very big comedian that did that.
yeah, did
Very
you
big.
feel really shit about it as well?
Yes, I did.
Because
I
that's
went
how I
home and
felt
cried.
last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably told you the next day I'd forgotten all about that. But actually, really, the pain was still in your chest. That's how I felt.
Must be something about
Patreon.com
the first name.
/TCGS, and please do help support the show. Please do help support the show, because we're getting more and more competition each week. There's more of these gaming podcasts popping up, and it's making me feel sick.
Okay.
Is
Doesn't it,
there
Ian?
loads more?
Well, I started doing the podcast because you guys make it look easy. Now I'm in here with you. Now I'm in the Matrix. I can see that it's very, very difficult to do a gaming podcast. But I have started. Get this right. So of course it's a retro gaming thing because I'm old, and it's called Random Access Memories. How come no one had ever taken that title before? When I came up with this,
don't know.
Apart from Daft Punk.
But apart from the name of one of the biggest selling albums of all time, no one else had thought
For a
about
podcast,
it.
yeah.
For a
How did you
podcast.
come up? How did you think of it? Like, where did that inspiration come from?
A friend was sending me some really shit, awful, lazy, lame titles like Game Memory or Back in My Day or That Was a Thing, and then sent me one.
I didn't have that one.
That was basically David sent me some shit ones, and one of them was what was it? Random Access Memory.
I just
a look
random
at the
access
past.
memory. No,
I mean,
think it was
Dave, can I
Ian
just
Lee's-
ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you check as well to see if there was any other podcasts that had that?
No, I was just firing ideas off. You know what I'm like.
Is he? He's good. James is googling.
Yeah, I just,
There is
Have you
one.
found a
There is
podcast?
one that ended in 2014, but I think you can.
That's fine.
look,
Statute of
check this
limitations
on
to
me.
run out on that.
2018. It's
I found there's been a new podcast that's launched that's called Joypod. They've called themselves Joypod, and I was like, oh
really?
shit, yeah, I guess we can't. But yeah, it's I think it's Dutch, And it's just really, I listened to a bit, and they were obviously speaking Dutch, and then you hear Joypod, and I'm like, oh, this really weird feeling. Like, get out of my slippers. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying doing a retro gaming podcast?
Not really.
Oh, come on.
No.
Yes, you are. Don't lie to me.
No, I am. I've only done a few. You very kindly came on the second one. And it's all, it's just kind of charming and quaint. And the game is sort of, things are hinged on the game, but it's not really about the game. It's about what it was like growing up playing games for that person, being a young person, growing up being old, whatever. The retro term is deliberately left vague. I don't specify what it is. So when the guests come on, it's open to their interpretation. And I've had you came on. I had this brilliant YouTuber, the Retro Future, Elliot. And when I told my kids he was coming on and he'd asked to come on, my kids were kind of blown away because this guy had done some stuff with Mr. Beast. And he's significantly younger. He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
So his idea of retro was, well, he was talking about Bop It being retro. He's talking about Bop It as though it were a hoop and a stick. But he's brilliant. His channel's brilliant, and he was really lovely. And it's just interesting getting different perspectives on what retro is. So
Yeah,
I'm having
that's it,
fun.
isn't it? It is strange because for retro, like I was thinking, I'm not a retro gamer, but when I think of retro, I think, oh, the games that I was playing when I was 5 or 6 years old, setting up the Atari, tuning it in and playing these old games, and then I want to play them again because it will take me back to that stage in my life and being in that room and just how important and exciting these games were back then. Where he was like, they had these things back in the ancient days, and I wanted to see what that was all about. And I was like, oh yeah,
It's
shit.
mad, isn't
There's
it?
a
It's the
new
thing. Like you never had
generation
to
of
deal with
retro
like an
gamers.
RF switch box and things like that.
What,
Like,
getting a little shock from it, when you're trying to find the bit at the back of the telly, and
and then to like flick the switch. And it's, oh fuck!
One thing that I think needs to be addressed is that quite a lot of retro games are shit. You'll get these people that go, oh, yeah, well, all retro is proper gaming because you have to use your imagination. Some of them are really shit. Those early Atari games, I mean, come on, man. They're pony, and so I think it's important to acknowledge that there are some great games. Some games, bring back great memories. I think that's quite often what a retro game is more about the memories that it brings up, where you were. Do you remember playing it in your bedroom with your mates or whatever? And that can make up for quite a weak game sometimes.
That is why I keep chasing the Sonic the Hedgehog high, because I'm still trying to experience that.
He sent a message to the chat today saying 8 out of 10 in some places. And I'm going, okay, you don't need to try and convince us that you're going to get the new Sonic game. We just know that you are.
The review said it was mostly positive, and I thought that's a massive
Were you in your
endorsement.
30s when Sonic came out, though? I don't understand how you can. I'm trying to get that high from being a kid.
Cough.
Okay. Random access memories. Ian Lee's random access memories on pretty much everything, right?
I was interviewing someone on Radio 4 the other day, and I said, so how would people find out about you? He went, Google it. And that's it. People don't have website. You just type my name in and Google it. So the same. Just type in Ian Lee random access memories. Google it, and it will pop up. And it will be very nice if you subscribe to it, please. Thank you very much. Indeed.
Episode 2, Fiendish Freddy's Big Top of Fun. It is it's high quality entertainment.
It is
I mean,
really good.
so far I've preferred episode 3. I think it's been.
Fuck yourself, James.
Well, I've only listened to episode 2 because
Cheers,
I know
Sean.
which side
True.
my bread is buttered on, James.
yeah. No,
That's
why
long
I
gone
had
for
the
me.
feature. No. All right. Okay. Just thinking about that trip on the bus and what you said. Should we get to the feedback from
Yeah,
last
go on
week's
then.
show, Sean?
Alex said, "Oh, this isn't. I don't know why I put this first. This is not a nice one to start."
I know why you put this.
Just
Because of the
wanted to
little
point
clash
out
we had last night. That's why.
David told James he can't comment on preferring to Hang on. Yeah, he can't comment on preferring to replay Andromeda over Starfield because he hasn't finished Starfield. But David never actually finished Andromeda and even reviewed it unfinished.
I did.
He's
I
done
did.
you there. He's done you.
Yeah, there's a group of people, I think it's from Rollmark, that were really angry about that and said that the fact that I didn't finish Andromeda when I reviewed it for Spong, which I did so for free, by the way, we weren't paid, that I didn't finish Andromeda when I reviewed it for Spong was the same as when that guy copy and pasted my Future Unfolding review and put it on their own website and just changed the name at the bottom of it. They said, that's just as bad. I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, totally
I
forgotten
put-
about
that.
that. Not the
I
same
put like
thing.
40 odd hours into Andromeda. Like, I'm not being funny. Yeah, I've never. I mean, James, if he was good at arguing, would have picked up on that straight away, but he didn't. I was fully aware.
I didn't know that you had. I didn't even know you played it. Honestly,
Really?
no, I had no
Oh,
idea.
okay. Okay. Well, I'd played it, but just not to completion. So, you know, Alex, you done me there, mate. Well done.
The Sean Bell Appreciation Society, which is my favourite of the Appreciation Societies, I say. Well, it seems Dave was right, and the venerable Sean Bell is a snake. His confession that he cast aside our members' finely crafted anecdote regarding how we came to listen to the show, brackets, basically, we've listened to everything Sean has ever done, even when Dave was being a not very nice man, has shaken our institution to its core, so much so that the next AGM will be putting forward a motion to appreciate a different member of the team. Early discussion seems to suggest that James has a decent chance if he is willing to commit to becoming a full-time host.
That's going to be a
if
big
Dave can offer
society.
some opinions on the use of silicon renders in place of through-colour sand cement, or the relative merits of using AutoCAD's ribbon UI over the classic menu, this could go some way to win over the construction professional wing of SBAS. All the best, kiss, kiss. And then they added, hang on, Sean's just started sniggering at Moorcock being a bit funny, all is forgiven.
I will say that the ribbon UI over the classic menu is an absolute joke. It's just to try and make it simple to get into Revit. But fuck that ribbon. I won't use it. I won't use it. That's my view on the ribbon situation in an AutoCAD. James and Sean, whoever
Really?
Can
cares.
someone
really.
make one of those pictures where it's David in black and white saying "fuck that ribbon," and then it's whatever year he was born, 1985 to 2020. Could someone do that, please?
2020? I didn't die 3 years ago.
He's-
This is your
Well,
Sixth
yeah,
Sense
now.
moment, mate. You just...
Died in lockdown. Unbelievable.
Brutal.
Right, go on.
Big Al says, ahoy there, chums. As I was enjoying listening to last week's podcast while going about my daily chores, I had a vivid flashback when David brought up Fiendish Freddy's Big Top of Fun. With the mention of the game, I was suddenly transported back to 1992, where an 11-year-old me was excitedly waiting outside Kempton Park pumping station to attend the filming of an episode of Games Master Season 2.
wow.
The legendary British swimmer Duncan Goodhew was appearing and had to play the diving section on said game. He gave it his best, but didn't manage to land on the breeze block in level 3. Being there for the filming was pretty boring. We had to look in the direction of where Sir Patrick Moore's floating head would normally be, and they would then add it in later. My naive young self was rather upset about
Wait,
this.
hold on. Did he think? Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I was rather upset about
Brilliant.
this as I assumed it would be on a screen behind Dominic Diamond. Anyway, thanks to David for that little trip down memory lane, and also for reminding me that my dad used to buy me computers 7 years after their original release date as well. Good times. Keep up the good work as always, gents, and don't let the bastards drag you down.
Duncan
silly
Goodhew
bastards.
used to be everywhere. You guys, I keep forgetting your kids, but Duncan Goodhew, he used to be on everything. Where is he? I
there
hope
was
he's well.
one particular show that we can't really talk about anymore because it's completely sullied. But he was on there every week.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what the person wanted. Oh, I want to train with, this football player. Well, we can't do that, but here's Duncan Goodhew.
Yeah.
What is he on what is he signed a 20-show contract or what? It's unbelievable. But yeah, no, Duncan, he's still about, isn't he, Duncan?
I think he's still about. I just, hope he's well. Lots of love
I
to
hope
the
he's
big
well.
Dunk.
I can't wait for it to turn out there's been some big scandal about it. Oh, God. About.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, the big D. Okay.
Now, hang on a minute.
My
So
best mate, Duncan Goodhew.
James Googles the name of my podcast to see if there are any other podcasts. He won't Google Duncan Goodhew.
I'm already Googling.
I was in the process of Googling it as you spoke, actually.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
so
yeah, that's fine then.
Well, he's been all right. Doesn't look like anything serious.
66 years of age. I would have thought he was older than that. How about that? Blimey. All right. Well, shout out Duncan Goodhew and the whole Goodhew clan.
There we go.
Still involved with the swimming, but yeah, well,
Oh yeah.
Keep up the swimming.
He's a
Good.
pool
We'll
keeper.
go down the flumes. Do you? That'd be weird, isn't it? You imagine going to like Waterworld or whatever, and then just seeing Duncan Goodhew coming out of a flume. Do you reckon he does them, or is that too silly for him?
Yeah, is
He's-
that busman's holiday, or is that
Yeah,
is that different
he's gotta
enough
go down
from
a
the
flume.
discipline of proper swimming?
Yes, I would imagine Duncan Goodhew has been down a flume.
Can someone? Is he on Twitter? Can someone ask if Duncan Goodhew's been down a
Have you ever
flume?
been down a flume, Duncan?
Flume. Are you searching Duncan
yeah, I'm
Goodhew?
just like flumes, Duncan, good flumes. Yeah.
Or do you reckon he's more of a lazy river sort of guy? Oh God, we got to get Duncan Goodhew.
I mean, I can confirm I can't find any pictures of him in the flumes.
Okay.
Right, okay. Well,
It'd be weird if there were
Watch
pictures.
his space.
Oh no, wait,
Yeah.
no, there is.
Oh,
There
Episode
appears to be
title.
one of him at Hinkley Leisure Centre.
Leisure Centre. Okay, wait. Well, that's not very good for the people that are listening. But if you,
it's not good
Google
for any of us.
Duncan
None of us
Goodhew-
can see it. So if you're listening,
Hinkley
we're all
Leisure
missing
Centre.
out.
Here.
I wish I could send you this picture.
Okay, right. We move on.
The next bit of feedback comes from Adam C, which, as we all know, stands for
I can
correct.
see it. I just seen it. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. It's not what I expected.
I'm gonna have some
It's
luck
not
now,
what
for
I
fuck's sake.
expected.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on. Adam C
Right.
says Cyberpunk 2077's In Japan Heart Surgeon number 1 is a reference to NBC's The Office. It's a famous monologue given by Hide. By the way, I'm the same guy who contacted you about the fact that you missed Jesse Cox's cameo in Cyberpunk as Injured Penis Man, and only Sarah knew who he was. Peace.
Oh yeah, I did miss that.
Yeah, I googled it, and it's literally the entire everything he says is completely lifted from The Office.
Oh God!
Which I-
What?
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I totally missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again.
Because it's
Holy
not even
shit.
like, I mean, calling it a reference is generous. It's like, no, they just lifted the entire bit. It's really weird.
Really?
I mean, it's funny. But, yeah.
Okay.
Roxborough says, first time, long time and all that. I just wanted to leave some feedback regarding Radiohead, who were discussing the best album. And honestly, I've never really listened to entire albums properly before. Just the hits like Creep, Karma Police, Just, etc. Funnily enough, I've even seen them live, but they did not play much from Kid A. I listened to Kid A in its entirety for the first time, as James mentioned that it's probably their best album, with a few murmurings of agreement from Sean. Can I just say that my mind has imploded after listening to this album? I've not stopped listening to it since the pod, and now my missus is worried about me. Thankfully, she's a massive fan of Radiohead, and she was understandably saying, I cannot believe you're only just having your moment with them now. I'm a musician myself, and Kid A has turned my musical mind into jelly. I don't know what music is anymore. Anyway, this led me to another line of thinking after reading comments on the Radiohead songs, oh, this is great for my ADHD, etc. I'm pretty sure that I may have ADHD. I'm undiagnosed, and ever since hearing Sean talk about it, I started to do some research. James, you definitely have ADHD, probably even more severe than Sean. Have you been diagnosed? Fucking love you guys. Never stop doing what you do. You all bring something magical to the table each week. I can't pick a favourite.
Thank you so
Roxborough, it's fine. No, you don't have to do that.
much, Roxborough. That's
See,
very
I
nice.
have. This now is not the place to go into. I don't consider James ADHD. I think there are other neurodiversities, divergences.
Oh, this is exactly
Prevalent.
the place to go into it. This
No,
is
it
it.
doesn't have ADHD, but there's all sorts going on there.
I have my
I-
suspicions.
I'm pretty sure that our listeners would love us to drop what you've been planning and lose and just dissect James
Psychoanalyse.
Farley. I mean,
Can you
yes.
run a therapy session for us?
Well,
We've asked him this before.
Oh.
I mean, deeply unprofessional, to be fair.
deeply unprofessional. I can't diagnose,
Okay.
but no, I can't diagnose, but I can observe things, and I've observed things about James that I probably shouldn't say here, but
But
the more I talk about him, the more he drinks. Isn't that interesting? Every time I mention him, the bottle goes up. It's just something to be aware of, I think. Farley's
I'm just-
diagnosis zone.
oh
I
my
don't know what you mean.
God,
I'm
that's-
just looking at these pictures of Duncan Goodhew at Hinkley Leisure Centre. So
That thing with the album though, everyone does that. That's just a normal thing that everyone does, right? Where you pick an album and then you have it on repeat for like a week, obsessively, and then you get to the point where you're like, oh, this isn't making me feel those feelings anymore, so now I'll move on. And you might go back to it, but fuck me, I'm really bad with that. If I get into an album, and I've got this horrible thing, like if I get into an album, I'm like, everyone needs to listen to this, and you send it to everyone, they're like, nah, it's not really my thing.
No,
and
you
it
don't need
kills
to,
me.
Dave. You don't need to.
Yeah, I know. I try though. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could stop though, because it takes over my life for like a week. That shit.
It's that Joe Perry episode, isn't it? Like, it's such a good, like, reflection of like what
That is the
feeling.
best representation of how music makes me feel than anything. Have you seen that, Ian? The Joe
I have
Perry.
not seen that one. No, I started with Joe Perry, and then I kind of drifted away.
There's one episode where he gets obsessed with what was the song?
It's Barbara O'Reilly, isn't it?
Barbara O'Reilly, that's it. He just gets obsessed with it, and it ruins his day because that's all he's doing is listening to it over and over again and ringing up every radio station and trying to get them to play it. And it's the perfect representation of what music does to me. Like, it's so good. Yeah, but that's normal. It's normal, right? That's normal.
Yeah,
Please say that's
well, because Kid A especially, because I can't remember if I mentioned before. I did. Friend of the show, Cammy Toman. We were sort of chatting, and he was like, "Do you know what? I've never like properly delved into Radiohead, so I did him a playlist, and it was sort of some of it was just my favourites, some was like representative of their work, but it was all in chronological order. And he was like, I've just got to the Kid A bit, and I'm going to stop and just listen to Kid A now, thanks. Just obsessed with Kid A for a bit. So yeah,
it's very good. I mean, Amnesiac is also pretty good.
We've had so much Radiohead chat on this pod recently. It's unreal. Should we move on?
Last one is from Pietrek, who says, Daddy Mulk is indeed a certified banger.
What's Daddy Mulk?
Did you not listen? It's the song I mentioned last week. I sent it to the group chat after the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I did listen to that. Yeah, okay, are we done with the feedback for this week? Good. Then let's get on to the news.
All right. Anyway, so
all right. Anyway, okay.
The long national nightmare is over, and Activision Blizzard is officially part of Microsoft. It's happened. Yeah, it's finally happened.
Oh, I mean, what? It's been a roller coaster. I mean, it has been a roller coaster.
Boring roller coaster is what it's been.
Well, I don't know. There was
goes
that
up
bit
a little bit and then down
that
a
was
little
the
bit.
bit in the middle where both Sony and Microsoft were going, actually, we're shit and we don't know what we're doing to try and.
Business.
Yeah. Actually, we're not actually that good, and no one likes Game Pass. Actually, that
total
stuff was
failure.
entertaining.
We have to
and when they were referring to each other in emails, and I don't know why Phil's brought this up. Actually, it's like all that stuff was good, but now it's over, and now we're left with the grim reality that Microsoft own yet another slice of the gaming industry.
Can I ask a question? Right,
Yes.
and I hope this is not meant to sound rude, right?
Oh God.
Why? No. Why should I care about this? Because I listen to you talk about this every week, and I find it just doesn't connect with me on any level. I find it, it just doesn't excite me, and I'm obviously missing something about why this is important to me.
I mean, not necessarily, because Activision Blizzard are massive, right, in terms of money they generate. Most of that's down to Call of Duty, but not necessarily, not all of it. But yeah, I don't really play any Activision Blizzard games, so there will be some people who are into Call of Duty and Diablo or whatever who might be like, holy shit, like this is gonna they're all gonna come to Game Pass now. All those games are gonna be free or whatever. Right. But I will try those games when they come to Game Pass, but I'm not as someone who's more or less sided with Xbox this generation. I'm not like, fuck yeah, Activision Blizzard games on my Xbox.
Right.
I don't know.
But I think the broader problem is the fact that it's like one company is taking more and more control over publishers in the industry, which is not a massively great thing, because although it's good obviously if these things come to Game Pass and everyone's really excited because it's free on Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. But what happens once Microsoft eventually corner the market, have a monopoly, and then hike prices up massively, and that becomes not so good for people as well.
There's also the thing that things like Game Pass and what Microsoft have done in the past is rely on indie developers and smaller studios, right? And the more bigger studios that they're buying up, the more that will be the draw that they try and use to bring you over to Xbox and Game Pass. The less they'll rely on the smaller studios and indie developers. So it feels like buy the biggest developers with the biggest studios, put all your money into that, and forget the smaller companies. How do you then break into the industry if that whole corner of the market is focused on AAA games that are made by themselves? It is concerning, and it's another one of those things where if you buy a PlayStation, you're looking over at what Microsoft are doing and saying, but they've got the subscription service, and I could get, but on my PlayStation, I'm paying £70 for that one game.
Right.
It just feels like bully boy tactics when you're going for the biggest studios that have the biggest fans. And
I mean, it's
also
classic, like it's Microsoft. Like we've said before about like the Epic Store and stuff as well. Like it's Microsoft just being able to throw the wallet at the problem rather than they've in the last year they've had a number of high-profile games that haven't really done what they could have, and a lot of it seems to come down to this like Microsoft sort of lack of involvement with the studios and not actually, and we've said before, we sort of get that in some circumstances you buy a studio, you don't necessarily want to be like, right, fucking do everything we say, like you want those studios to continue doing what they do. But we've seen examples of like where actually they probably should have stepped in and maybe got involved.
But then also the other problem with that is that you get the stage where Microsoft may decide to consolidate things at some point, and then you get job losses and studios being closed down. And I mean that happened before, like where they shut down, Lionhead went down, and there was a whole bunch of them. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there is possible that could happen.
I should say, I mean, like certainly, tech companies hiring and firing people will continue, but Microsoft have said, haven't they, that because a lot of Activision Blizzard staff have been struggling to try and unionize for a long time now, and Microsoft have basically said, we let people unionize, and everyone in Activision Blizzard will be part of that.
Yeah,
which is positive.
And the plus side is also Bobby Kotick will be out of a job at some point soon, which will be nice.
What has he got? 5 years? Isn't it 5 years or something?
No, just until the end of 2023.
Oh really?
Okay,
I thought he'd like said that he was staying on for like 5 years after the acquisition or something. I don't know. Anyway, bet you're glad you asked. It's a bunch of
Thanks for
boring.
clearing that up. No, I get that it's important. It just is not a story that connects with me, and I don't see the significance to me. I do, however, hear the thing about people potentially losing their jobs, because that's been a thing that's been, as you've been talking about a lot recently, is companies closing down, people being laid off and stuff like that. So that, of course, is huge, if that is where it heads at some point.
It is funny, isn't it? Because when you're talking to the end user about this sort of stuff, and someone that's not got as much interest in the wider industry, the answer's always, but I pay for Game Pass, so that's just good news, isn't it? And you're like, well, yeah, I mean that stuff is great. That stuff is great if you're in that ecosystem and you're used to paying for Game Pass and you enjoy that service or whatever. But there's the thing is that it's more concerns than actual negative things that are going to happen once they take control.
It's
of
all
that.
based on possibilities, that could happen. It's like worst case scenarios kind of things. But we'll see.
It's going to be interesting over the next 3 or 4 years how they're going to play this, because there's agreements, I believe, were they put in place with Sony?
Yeah, they've got agreements that like Call of Duty will stay on PlayStation for at least 10 years. Like that's going to happen, and apparently there's going to be a Switch version and all that kind of thing. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I think even if it goes to Game Pass, I don't think it's going to make a massive difference for Microsoft, honestly, because I think people are still quite happy. There's a load of people that buy PlayStations and just buy Call of Duty, and to them, they were not going to be interested in a subscription. For that, it's just like, I bought my game.
For sure.
Don't need to.
We should say as well, like, easy for us to focus on the console stuff, but a lot of this purchase was about King as well, which is part of Activision Blizzard. So there's going to be a very big mobile element to this. But obviously, we don't really know what that looks like. So, don't know.
Oh, right.
I mean, I've got a load of quotes, but I don't want to read them because they're all corporate nonsense. So I'm going to move on to the next story, which is that Disney are apparently looking to acquire perhaps EA. This could happen.
right.
So this is according to Bloomberg. Some Disney executives are suggesting that they need to go out and make a big purchase of like a studio or something like that. And EA have also been interested in being sold as well because they've been new talks. They've talked with Amazon, Apple, NBC, and also Disney. So yeah, maybe this will happen at some point.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you get a size of a company like EA in your head, and you just think they would never sell because they're massive. But there must be a reason why they're looking to be bought up.
But how big
It's
are...
strange,
no,
isn't it?
No, they are massive. Sorry, I was about
Well,
to
it's-
go, but are EA that big? Yeah, of course they fucking are, the sports stuff.
Yeah,
I was just thinking
FIFA
particularly
just
like...
makes so much money. It's
yeah, I was just thinking
ridiculous.
in terms of like Battlefield hasn't been big for a long time now. But yeah. Other than
Yeah,
that,
no,
they're probably
I
all
think
right, aren't
outside of the sports stuff, they haven't really sort of. I can't think of. Well, you had what was the Titanfall stuff? Apex Legends.
they? Oh,
That
yeah,
did
yeah.
well, but I think, as far as I'm aware, that's dropped off quite a bit recently.
They had Jedi,
Yeah.
they had Fallen Order, didn't they? And all those, the Star Wars stuff as well. They worked
But
on.
then Fallen Order had... Well, sorry, Jedi Survivor had tons of problems. I don't know how that affected sales, but did
It's
not
strange
launch
though,
in the
isn't it?
best
'Cause
shape.
I thought Disney and EA had a big falling out after what they did with Star Wars because they took the license away from them and made it an open market for Star Wars games. And
I don't think they'll care if it means they get a lot of money. For
Yep.
being sold, then it's totally fine.
Well,
That's
I
what-
suppose what the other thing I don't get about this is Disney already published their own games, do they not? Still?
Disney Interactive, yeah.
I know
but
because I know they used to, and then they stopped, and then they started again.
DuckTales, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the way to get into it. Like they want to get back in. I think, but then that's a bit worrying because every time they've
Yeah,
done
because
that, it's
they
not
didn't
worked out.
publish Illusion Island, did they? That was someone else. Oh God, we should know this stuff. What the fuck?
Can Disney
on,
stop
James.
making Star Wars stuff now? Because it's all shit. They just keep. I remember when there were 3 Star Wars films, then there were 3 more, but now this is a dark Star. I don't want a dark Star. I don't want any more Star Wars. Stop doing it. Stop doing Star Wars. Boring.
Andor was good.
Andor
but, yeah.
was good, and Ahsoka has not been that bad. It's been pretty good.
Just
I'm enjoying it.
stop. Let's just close. Let's just nuke the Star Wars universe. There's no more Star Wars. None of that. Nothing can go on now, please.
Okay, what are you going to replace it with? What are you going to go for?
I'm going to replace it with Tron. Let's
mate.
Let's see. James was surprised by that. Let's
Yeah.
reinvigorate the Tron universe, huh?
So like a Tron cinematic universe, yeah.
Yes, yes, please.
What was the story of Tron? What was it?
Bloke got
Man
sucked
in
off into an
computer.
arcade, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeff
right,
Bridges
so
got sucked off in an arcade.
Yeah.
Was it anything like Lawnmower Man? That's what I'm wondering.
With the Lawnmower Man, I met Jeff Fahey from the Lawnmower Man, and I was supposed to interview him about Lost. I just kept talking to him about the Lawnmower Man until we had no more time to talk about Lost. The Lawnmower Man was weird. That was him and Brosnan,
thing
wasn't
that-
it?
Yeah.
The only thing that I know about Lawnmower Man was the front cover. He had like the spikes coming out of his face, didn't he? That you scared the life out of me in the local.
I remember
video
there was also
store.
like a whole ton of like video games of it as well that were awful, like terrible.
I remember,
ports,
yeah, like they
of-
used to on TV. They used to show some of the CG bits, which obviously looked dreadful. But
Oh,
at the
maybe I'm
time-
thinking of something else. What am I
Didn't
thinking of then?
Hellraiser had the spikes coming out of his face.
Hellraiser then. That's yeah. Oh right.
You always get
Well, I never
Hellraiser
saw
mixed up
Lawnmower
with
Man
Lawnmower
because
Man.
of the Hellraiser cover. That's genuine. That's genuinely true. That's the reason I never saw Lawnmower Man, because the Hellraiser cover, and it scared me as a kid. And just
enough.
before we get a ton of messages, Disney Electronic Content did publish Disney Illusion Island.
Okay.
So I was wrong. They're trying to dip their toe in, Sean. They're trying to dip their
Blimey.
toe in, aren't they? There might be something in this next news story.
So, Just Stop Oil protesters have been arrested after interrupting EGX. So what happened here was they tried to squirt orange paint at a screen that was showing like a Tekken match that was going on at the time, and then they began to like make a sort of a short speech, and they were dragged off by security. And then, according to a statement, 3 protesters have been arrested for criminal damage by the police. Do you want to hear the statement from Just Stop Oil?
Is
Please.
it really good? Is it going to really win us over?
I think so, yeah. Video games let us escape into new and exciting dimensions, but real-world physics are about to deliver the death of billions. Put more carbon into the atmosphere at this point and it's game over. Gamers cooperate to win, and we need these skills to survive. Everyone must step up and join in civil resistance against new oil and gas, because this isn't a game. Let's unite to make this world safe so that we can get back to exploring cyber worlds.
Oh God, that was written by a
Fucking
twat. I really want to support Just Stop Oil because I
Yeah.
like, yeah, come on, let's do, but just get out of the road. I want to go on my
Wow.
business.
Did you see the tweets, James? Where someone obviously thought it would be like I've got a really funny joke. I'm going to use this a couple of times because basically they're referring to the fact that like we'll all be fighting over food, right, one day because it's all, and several times they're like, it's going to be Tekken in Tesco.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That would be fucking awesome. That would be awesome. Some bloke with a tiger's head. I found this really confusing. I support Just Stop Oil. I think their message is great.
Yeah.
EGX feels like a very, very odd target. I've not been there for a few years, but it's a lot of indie developers, isn't it?
So
EGX?
the reason they've
EGX is
given,
more.
they
go on.
said that it was targeted specifically because the event had ties to Barclays Bank, and because apparently Shell sponsors games like Fortnite. So that was the reason.
Right, okay, but but you're not attacking those specific companies by doing this, are they? I think
No, Tekken.
I had a chat. I had a chat in Tesco's. I had a chat with someone at work about like Just Stop Oil, and they were complaining about the Wimbledon thing, and I was like, well, I kind of get the Wimbledon thing because that's going to be massively publicised everywhere. You're going to get your message in newspapers and get your pictures of your t-shirts and spread for publicity. And the worst that's going to happen is that a few rich people that have paid a lot of money to go and watch the tennis will not watch the tennis for like 20 minutes while they clean it up and carry on with the tournament. Like, for me, it feels like that's kind of harmless, right? But like with this, when they were smearing it all over the computers, I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a nerd. I was like, not on the computer screen. I could have used that.
I mean, I suppose it's worked in some way because we're talking about it on a podcast and you would not be talking about it normally. I mean, I do wonder though if anybody at that event is going to be swayed towards. I make up that a lot of gamers are kind of, yeah, maybe there is an issue here. Maybe we do need to ask some questions. It just feels like the wrong venue.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it didn't. As you said,
But then is that just us being like, no, don't attack the thing we might go to?
It could be. It could be. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the thing that we like, and maybe maybe
Don't
that is
disrupt
part
our
of it.
event. Yeah.
I really hope their next target's a Casio shop, Sean.
Oh no, I'm not having that.
You losing your fucking mind.
All those
here.
15 quid watches going to.
They've gone too far.
I mean, it's the other aspect of this is reveals a number of flaws in the security in the event.
There's
They were able
never
to
been a
get
lot of
in-
security there.
No,
though, is there?
there isn't.
and also, I mean, I say that. So obviously, yeah, they were like, accosted on stage. Basically, like security turned up and took them off. But apparently, there was a number of other like talks and panels and stuff where
I
people
saw.
on the panel were just being harassed by the audience, and no one did shit.
Yep. The people that were actually doing a panel live at EGX were having to stand up and tell people to stop talking and shouting and
Really?
asking them to get out and stuff. Yeah, it's something they really need to look at.
Yeah,
If they're asking people, because right. So we've done several shows at EGX and Res, right, and we really do appreciate the people that put us on those stages and the help that it gave the show and spreading the message and giving us the experience of trying to work out how we should do live shows. But it was the same for us, and we were lucky because we didn't get into any trouble at our live shows or whatever, other than the time where I nearly caused a security alert because Ian ran up on stage and I shouted, "Security, security, get rid of this man." but we're not paid for that. Like, we weren't paid for those. And I mean, it wasn't about that. We weren't trying to get paid. But my point is that we were doing it for free. The least we can expect if you're putting us on stage is to be protected if something was going to go wrong. Say, for example, Ian Lee running in front of us and taking selfies.
That was weird.
Or, it was weird.
Yeah.
And the you know, like in a serious as a serious message, what was happening to some of the people on stage this year, where they were getting shouted at and abused, like that stuff they need to get sorted, because you have a right to protect the people that you're asking to come on and do a live show for you. You know, it's the least that you can do, certainly if you're not paying them. So I hope they get that sorted soon. But you're right, it just shows that there's an issue there, doesn't it?
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? If I go next year and the security is an absolute nightmare, I'm gonna be like, oh, for fuck's sake. But this is right. If they do tighten it up, this is why, right?
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And if you've read all these Just Stop Oil things and you haven't gone and read their website, go and read their website at least. I mean, hopefully it's better written than that fucking tweet. But yeah, go and see.
I'm amazed
what
there
they're all
wasn't
about
and there are no extra lives.
The video game industry is $1 billion.
It makes twice as much as movies and music together. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Seriously, I read that in the week.
Can I say something very blunt but factually true?
Yes, please, go on.
If it wasn't for this Just Stop Oil stuff, we wouldn't have talked about EGX this week.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it?
True.
I wanted to go though. There was still part of me that wanted to take Harry, but I just
I mean, did you see it though? See the pictures and stuff?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen much about it at all.
It looked a bit bare. Gotta say.
Shit, man. It sucks because this.
And I don't think it's their fault. Like, I'm not having a go at EGX. I think it's like we all know, like a lot of the big publishers and stuff just don't do big presences at these types of events these days, unless it's like more of an industry-facing thing.
Started going downhill when we stopped doing live shows.
Yeah, they stopped asking us, and oh look,
we
it's
were
not
the big
the same anymore.
We were the big EGX, coming cap in hand back towards us next week, tail between your legs, and asking us to come back next year, and we won't. Next news story.
So Sega have also not Sega. That's wishful thinking. Sony have unveiled a smaller PlayStation 5.
I should say all James is thinking about is this new Sonic game at the moment. So stuff like that is going to happen.
It's not true. I'm not playing it. Anyway, so they revealed this new PlayStation. It's basically a smaller version. It's 30% decrease in volume compared with the last one, and it's also lighter, etc.
Decrease in volume, you say?
Yeah. It's absolutely decreased in volume.
Yeah, you can barely hear it now.
Subtitles on it.
So the digital-only version also has a removable panel, so that you can add a disk drive if you want to at a later time, which will cost $100.
It links back to an earlier Farley's Fantasy Zone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I was partly right, but not completely, because I don't know. Never mind, it doesn't matter. But then also,
you don't want to go over it because you weren't partly right.
I was partly right. I said they were going to release a PlayStation with a removable disk drive, and they have. So there you go.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll find the tapes. It looks worse.
It does, and if you want to stand it up vertically, you need to pay £25 for an additional stand thing, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it looks worse, doesn't it?
Well, it looks smaller, which is good, right? Because that thing was far too big. But it doesn't look as smaller as I thought. I thought it was going to look way smaller than it does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that they had to put out that tweet with the side by side and the like old new on it.
Yeah. And the fact that they had, so the panels are now split into two each side, and there's just like a thick black line either side of the thing. I don't know, man. This is completely replacing the current or the version that we know, right? That's gone. You won't.
That's
get
right. Yeah.
anymore.
Once they're gone, this will be the model basically. Yeah.
The kickstand, the stand thing is fucking crazy. Like I think
they've got a form for this because they did this before. Because I remember they did this with the PS2. Like they had
the PS2 came with it. You had to buy that additionally.
They had the funniest thing was they had a vertical stand and a horizontal stand as well. And I remember them trying to sell it as being like, if you buy this horizontal stand, it looks like it's floating. You know, like on the.
But the current PS5, that stand is made for horizontal and vertical
Yeah.
PS5s as well, isn't
It's
it? You
awful.
can't just put the PS5 on the side.
It's a
You have to
terrible
clip it
stand,
into-
but
yeah,
you can,
yeah,
you
it's
know,
bad.
especially when you
Um,
because I have it horizontally, and it's like trying to get it just so it doesn't fall over is a little bit difficult sometimes.
But all the promotional shots are showing it vertical. And now they're saying, yeah, but if you want that, it's 25 quid. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. But look, the PS5 is bloody brilliant. Like, I'm not slagging the console off at all. I fucking love playing on my PS5. I love using that controller. I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man next week. But let's not kid ourselves. The console looks terrible, and this doesn't. I was hoping that it would look a lot better.
I thought I would get used to the PS5, and I just haven't.
Wait till you got it in your house.
It's so big. It's so big. It just takes over everything.
Yeah, it really does. And when you stand it next to a Series X, you're like, holy shit!
David, it's
are
even
they
worse
similar?
It's even worse when you put an extra Series S. Trust me.
And it's really.
Yeah, it looks
Looking
really
at it,
nice.
thinking these are both next gen consoles, and yet look at the difference.
Yeah. Well, and the obviously the strangest thing about all this is that usually when you bring out a smaller version of a console or a redesign, they try something to convince you to upgrade. Right? There is nothing here. Like there's no spec boost. There's a slightly bigger hard drive, but the hard drive was on a normal PS5 was what 700.
No, I think it was 850, and this is now
850,
and
this
the
is
full
now a
1
terabyte.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like a massive upgrade to what we've had before.
But then I don't think they're not selling it as being an upgrade, is it? It's basically this is. I mean, I'm
this is
sure
the
that
replacement.
they put this together because it's cheaper for them probably as well.
It's cheaper for them,
whatever.
and honestly, if I was picking between one or the other, you go for the smaller one anyway. Because why go for the bigger
not?
one? It's
Yeah.
crazy, but.
But there's also, I mean, there's rumours that there will be like a spec bump version next year at some point.
Right.
Will be the thing. So
Okay.
yeah,
We'll see. Oh, what are they going to bring that price out at? Like that's, I can't wait to see what they try and flog a spec upgrade for. It's mad. Okay.
Okay. Mario Brothers Wonder has leaked online. There's people playing it on Twitch, which is weird. So
On Twitch.
Really?
yeah, this is
Is
according
that not
to
an instant ban?
I don't know. I mean, this is according to VGC. They said at least 3 people have been streaming it on Twitch.
Wow.
So
Oh,
that's
free.
weird. I don't know how. It seems confusing as to how they got it because it's not been.
I mean,
I don't think it's even been sent out or anything. But there was rumours that like ROMs of it are like already floating around.
It must be
So-
someone from the factories slipped a copy out, right? That's usually how this stuff goes.
Have you ever like got a pirated game before release? Have you ever done that?
God, I don't know. I think the worst
Halo
I've
2.
done is downloaded like the American or Japanese version of something before it came out here, but then that was back in the day when that happened, and it hasn't for years. So
Oh man, Halo 2. Halo 2 for me. 'Cause
Before it was
that game-
released.
before it was released, about 2-3 weeks before it was released, everyone had a chipped Xbox anyway because it was, having a chipped Xbox was amazing. It had a little switch at the bottom of it so you could play it online. You just made sure you turned the mod off before you connected to the Xbox Live. And Halo 2 came out about 3 weeks before it leaked online 3 weeks before, and it was the French version. So I played the majority of that game in yeah. Bonjour, Monsieur Chief.
Je m'appelle
It was
Chief,
it was Mr. Chief. It was brilliant because then we played on launch day. We joined like a tournament and absolutely thrashed everyone because we've been playing it for 3 weeks non-stop before the fucking thing come out. But yeah, I remember that. I didn't know that the Switch is this. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about it, but is the Switch piracy like just really easy to do then?
Yeah, like you can. I mean, I've never.
Oh,
this isn't me
you'd be
covering my
cool.
arse. I've genuinely not bothered to do it,
Okay.
but you can emulate a lot of Switch stuff on the Steam Deck.
But just super easy, is it?
And I don't.
I mean, I hear that they run better as well, Sean. I heard.
I've also heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that people that have pirated also really like the depths in because it made
Yeah,
more
the
sense
weird
on
correlation.
Steam Deck. It
No,
just made more sense.
you know, like I said when Tears of the Kingdom was coming out, I was like, if everyone's saying like, oh, it runs like shit on the Switch, but you can emulate it really well on the deck, I absolutely would. I would have bought it anyway, but I certainly would have considered emulating it. But never sorted that out.
What was? Are you allowed to buy it and then return it? Like you buy it, then pirate it, play it on your Steam Deck, and then return it after. You're allowed to do that technically, aren't you?
I don't know.
Oh,
But
that's a moral.
Giving me ideas now.
Yeah.
It's just weird, isn't it? Because we've said before, the Switch is at that point where lots of people are looking into how to emulate Switch stuff. It might not necessarily be piracy. It might be people who are buying the Switch games and just be like, well, it kind of runs like shit. I'd rather just I'm happy to play it on my PC in 4K. Thanks.
I own the ROMs. I own the ROMs.
I own the original, so it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting situation, but yeah, personally, the convenience of just being able to turn the Switch on and play the fucking thing wins.
Cool. All right.
Do you know what I've just realised, David?
Go on.
I haven't done my coffee golf for today.
Oh my god.
Right,
That's
okay,
terrible.
that's fine, but we're doing a podcast now, aren't we, mate?
I know, but I haven't got much time.
What's
This is
coffee?
the-
What's
we
coffee
actually
golf?
need to
Plenty of time.
finish in the next hour, or else James isn't going to be able to do his.
You
coffee
not
golf.
play coffee golf?
No, I've
Ian?
not played coffee golf. What is
Oh, my
this?
You've got
goodness.
to play coffee golf. It's
Yeah.
you'd love this. It's a
Okay.
golf game that you play. You get 5 holes. You could do them in any order,
Yeah.
and it's a new round every day. And
So
you
it's
can just-
Wordle
Yes.
for golf.
sort of,
Well,
but golf. You're playing a little golf game. Yeah,
Okay.
5 holes.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of sand
honestly,
in this one, isn't there?
But it's surprisingly deep. James is fucking playing it. Look.
I'm going to install it on Harry's phone. That is exactly what I'm doing because I know he'll play that every day, and I'll thrash
Yeah.
him.
I'm having
Everyone
coffee
will
golf.
be at the moment. James, are you seriously playing coffee golf in the middle of the
Of
pod?
course he
Well,
fucking is.
I
During
don't
during
wanna lose
his
my streak,
section
innit?
as well.
This is right. Okay,
Okay,
go on. What's the next news story?
Okay, the next story
me.
is that the new voice of Mario has been revealed.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
So
Um,
it's Kevin Afghani, and he announced the news on Twitter. He said, sorry, X, whatever. He said, incredibly proud to have voiced Mario and Luigi in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Thanks to Nintendo for inviting me into the Flower Kingdom. He's previously worked on Genshin Impact. So there you go.
Oh right, okay. Well, let's see. I mean, I've not heard any voice actor from that game. Have we all got that? Are we all getting that Friday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already pre-ordered that,
Very
so
much
we will
looking forward
find
to it.
out to see if it's. What if you load it up? It's like, hello, oh Mario.
My name's Mario.
Just go, what the fuck? What's going on here? We're going in a new direction, Luigi. Why? Just don't worry about it.
So so obviously he must have recorded his lines for this ages ago.
Yeah.
So when was Charles Martinet told that he wasn't doing it?
Brutal.
Did he give us
that was
hanging
all
until
really
like
awkward,
it was like a
wasn't it?
month ago they announced he's the ambassador or whatever. Do you think
Yeah,
they
and then
waited
he
until
said, "I
then?
don't even know what that fucking means." Like, they were like, and then there was a video put out by Nintendo where Shigeru Miyamoto's got a gun pointed at Charles Martinet, and him going, "I know exactly what it means now." Yeah, it was
I think
really
I've told
weird.
you last time I was here. I spent an afternoon with Charles Martinet. We were doing something to. I seem to remember it being a Pokemon event at the IMAX, but I might be confusing it with something else because I was a massive junkie at the time. But I spent an afternoon in the green room with him, and he's just this wonderful, very theatrical, kind of over the top personality, telling me these stories about growing up and about his acting career and about being that. And I've got no idea where they are. He recorded loads of links for me for my radio show in the hi, see and Lee, and doing all of that, like 20 of them.
Why didn't they ask you to take over? Like that was.
And I've lost them. And he was also interviewed by some newspaper, and they got him as Mario to say rude things about George W. Bush, and the PR person came in just as at the end of this went fucking mental. And Mr. Martin, if you go and wait over there, right, you've got to delete those now. You can't. Oh, it's a George Bush. She's a wanker. All that kind of. And God knows what he thought he was doing. He's kind of, he's a bit of an old hippie. You can imagine him, sitting back and rolling a fat one in the 70s. So he was having the time of his life. But yeah, they got They got those deleted. But what a lovely
sad, but
gentleman.
It had to happen at some point, right? Because he's not a young guy, is he?
But see, I'd have thought by now they'd have enough in the bank anyway.
Yep.
Like to
Yeah, I
of,
know.
like, sound
It's
bits
not
and
like he
stuff.
says a lot.
Yeah, how many new
Yeah.
things does Mario need to say at this point?
I think it's a shame they got rid of him. And I agree with James. I would have thought they'd have had enough to keep him going forever. And I think that would be... I mean, does the new guy just sound like him? Is he doing an impression of
I assume
Mario?
so.
I don't know,
Yeah,
yeah.
I assume he's doing it.
It's watch one of those.
But
Twitch
that's the
streams.
double whammy because it was that and the film. Do you know what I mean?
It's
got,
brutal. I think it's a really shit way to... I mean, the movie I can sort of understand because, you know, Charles Martinet ain't going to sell a movie, and I know it wouldn't just be that, but it's part of it. I think the games is cruel to take him off that.
Yeah. Well, that's showbiz, baby. That's what I heard. I saw that in a movie. Next.
Okay, last story is that Peter Molyneux's new game is going to be set in the land of Albion. I mean, nobody's really sure how this is going to work.
As
But
in
Peter
Fable,
Molyneux's
Albion.
new
As in
game
Fable.
might get us. I think Peter Molyneux's new game might get a cease and desist
Oh,
letter.
Peter Molyneux is saying things again.
no, I mean, this is
now
what he
look.
said. He has also said that the game is going to have a mechanic which has never been seen in a game before.
Of course he said that.
Stop
He's not changed at all, has he? I love him. I'm so glad he's back. I am so. How aware of Peter Molyneux are you, Ian?
He's full of shit, right? Is he that guy?
Yeah.
And he says that this game will have, you know, like an imagination, and he just makes up stuff, and then when the game comes, it's functional, but doesn't have any of this. Is he?
That's
now,
it.
Is he not just like excitable and gets carried away?
Well,
Yes.
Ian, I've got a theory about this. You know, we were saying earlier you can't diagnose people.
Yeah.
I was listening to him on Simon Parkin's podcast, My Perfect Console, and
Oh, I've been asked to go on that.
have you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you should.
I thought that was a secret. I haven't told
Oh.
him.
Well, not anymore.
Was it a secret? I don't know.
No, that was the secret. Was the thing I told you today.
No, stop, because that's you. I promise you. Go on.
Interesting. Peter Molyneux's got ADHD, man. I'm telling you.
You
He's like
reckon?
he's going on about because this whole thing is like, oh, I just get so excited and I just start saying stuff in conversations. I'm having these ideas and I can't shut up about them. And then he starts talking about how like he's nearly crashed his car loads because he would fucking play on his DS while he was driving. And I was like, I mean, there it is. Like,
Yeah, I look. Something happened with Peter Molyneux where his wild and wackiness. It's like everyone knew that he was coming out with this stuff that probably wasn't in the game and that he was overselling or whatever. And everyone was like, but it's Peter Molyneux, isn't it? Let's see what weird shit he's going to come out with this week. Everyone loved it until they didn't. And I think it was probably Connect.
I think
that was the
it's
turning
that,
point, wasn't it?
And I think also probably I obviously have no evidence as this is the case, but I think he probably quite upset like other developers that were working for him as well by keep saying that things were
yeah,
going
I
to
think
happen,
it's-
and then
Of course,
pretty
yeah,
widely
but that
known
was
now that
always
he's
the
a
case.
nightmare to work with. You know about the
Yeah.
the dog in Fable 2 thing, don't you?
What was that?
That he literally, like, apparently one day they were having like a design meeting and he just opened the door and went, "The player has a dog and it dies," and then left. And that was it. Like, right, we've got to put a fucking dog in the game now.
And there was that other thing, wasn't there, with that what was that Fable game that was like on rails, and he
the
kept
Journey.
repeatedly saying it's not on rails and it's open world. It came out, it was on rails and wasn't
Absolutely
open
on
world.
rails.
And
I like Fable. James,
Yeah,
can I
I like
ask
that
which
too.
hole are you on now?
the
we've
whole
done it.
I've just finished it actually, and I mean I got a little bit better than David. That's why he's annoyed at the moment.
No,
That's
I'm
the-
annoyed
that's the
because we're doing a fucking podcast, James. Do it
Yes.
afterwards. Jesus.
Still managed to do both, David. I'm a pro.
No, you
Multitasker,
didn't.
that
No.
boy.
Well,
I still managed. No, let's think about this, right?
No,
I
no,
still
you
managed
didn't,
to
'cause
read
you
out
just
the
went
news story.
quiet.
I
No,
still
you
managed
just
to
went
read the news
quiet.
story. No, that's not true. I still managed to
did.
read the news story, and I beat your score on
Right, okay,
golf
fine.
as well.
Fine. But you just went quiet and then went, we had to
How
go,
did I?
James, next news story.
How did I go quiet? And
You sort
absolutely
of just
didn't
didn't
go quiet.
say anything. That's,
I mean,
that's
we'll
how you
listen.
did
I mean, people will listen back later and they'll find out that didn't happen, did it, David?
Okay.
So-
Okay.
Is this
I have
taking
to
the
be-
heat
Is that the
off
end
me
of
for the
news?
bonus show stuff? Am I in the clear now?
I am Team James, and I do think
Why?
because I'm for the underdog, and I do think this constant ribbing of him I think is unnecessary. And James, if you ever want to talk in confidence,
For a small
please
fee.
for some significant fee. I used to be on telly, so then please get in touch. And
Is that is that a factor?
is that a fact? Yeah, I used to be on telly.
Is that a factor when you're like, you know what? When I'm setting my prices,
website,
actually, I am sort of a big deal.
Yeah, if you go to his council website, it says on the top, used to be on the telly, so, and then pound signs.
Yeah. Pounds.
I'm just saying, I bet you could command a slightly higher rate than other people in your
You want a
profession.
therapist or you want a celebrity therapist? And
You can
I
have
do
both.
the
You
sessions
don't have to choose anymore, Ian. That's the beauty of
I
it.
do the sessions in the jungle hat. It's just to make them feel
Eating pigs' vaginas.
eating pigs for strawberry. Do that and makes them feel.
Oh shit! This might be a James passing out.
Oh,
we're good, we're good, we're all right.
Just out of interest, Sean, are you trying to be his fucking agent now? Is that?
I would like a new job.
Right, are we done with the news, James?
We're done with the news. Yeah, we're done.
Good. Let's get to what you've been playing, and let's start with Ian because he's
Can I have
got
a
the
pee
most
first?
exciting thing to talk. Yes, I need a pee as well. Actually,
Do we pause the recording or do we
no,
keep
no,
it going?
keep it
Let it
running.
roll.
keep
All
it
right,
running.
excuse me.
In case anything funny
Excuse me.
happens.
Yes, mate.
You all right, James?
Yes. Oh man, that bit with the swimming pool thing, I thought I was gonna die. Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Have you seen the one where he's just standing in the swimming pool?
Oh no, hang on, no, I've not seen that one.
Oh man, that was the one that nearly killed me. I put it in the WhatsApp group because it's ridiculous.
With no context. from
Yeah,
Matt.
I mean, look at that. Just look at that.
Hang on, it's taken a frustratingly long time to load. Hang on. Come on, phone, fuck's sake. There we go. Oh, that is strange, isn't it?
I know. That's why I saw that, and I was
That's
just like,
really
I can't.
weird.
Yeah, very strange. Like a very, very strange picture.
God.
Yeah.
Duncan, bad hue.
Right, I'm gonna go to the toilet as well.
All right,
I might even get another one of these.
do it, mate. Treat thyself. Oh, the hat's
dear.
back on.
Yeah.
Are you?
Is he off for one now?
Yeah.
One
At
in,
least
one
he's
out.
wearing pants.
I've
I love
I've
how he
downloaded
waited.
Coffee Golf.
Good. It's very good.
Oh, you love it, Ian. It's really good.
It's really good.
Oh, it's this making the noise. It was a cat. All right.
Yeah. It's the coffee goal.
All right. We'll play that later. I won't do it on the
Coffee
podcast.
goal.
No, that'd be really rude. Do that.
That was mad. That. Jesus Christ! I cannot believe you just went. Oh, I haven't done coffee golf. I'm gonna start.
He's leaning into the ADHD diagnosis now. Now that it's been mentioned, he's like, yeah, actually, yeah, maybe I will have that. Actually, I'm gonna.
It's very
Yeah.
it's very trendy at the moment. You know.
It is.
It's very
It certainly is.
fashionable.
Yeah, so I've heard.
When can you go? Yeah, all right. You've got ADHD, but that's just being rude.
Just being a twat.
when am I allowed to do that?
Well, that's just it, isn't it? It's like a lot of conditions. It's like, yeah, you've got it, and we acknowledge that you find certain things more difficult, but also you do sort of have some responsibility to maybe start working on it.
Yeah.
I remember interviewing. Do you remember years ago on the Celebrity not Celebrity on Big Brother? There was a guy that won it. I can't remember his name. Punky looking, and he had the verbal Tourette's, the sweary
Oh, that's
Tourette's.
right. Pete.
Oh,
His name
Pete. Yeah, no, I met him. Yeah.
He was a really, really nice guy, and I had him on a radio show, and we were allowed to have him on because it was a condition. It was a medical condition, and he was doing the Tourette swears, but then every now and then he'd just swear like
Too
in a
naturally.
sentence,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Is that? Did you just say that, or was that an uncontrolled? I said, oh, and I had to kind of say, look, the uncontrollable ones you can keep in. But if you're just going to go fuck this, fuck that, you can't really let you get away with that.
Oh, he sadly passed away, didn't he? Like,
No, what?
Yeah,
Did he?
unexpectedly, I think. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was really awful.
Really?
But, yeah, I saw him like
Oh, that's really
maybe
sad.
6 months or a year before.
I liked
Oh, I
him. He
bet.
was a really nice.
Yeah, Pete from Big Brother. Pete Bennett, his name was. Yeah.
No, he's 41 years old, mate.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
Yeah, still going.
I think it was someone else.
hell.
I did meet him. But that's the one that I met, but I thought he was okay. That's bad.
No, the
isn't
one I met was dead. So
it? Well, that's good though. At least that's not. I'm not wishing him dead. Shy. That's not what I'm doing. Right. Okay.
Right.
We need to get back. So we're going
in
to go.
2022, he was in the Nan movie.
No, really.
Yeah.
Well, the one with what's her face, Catherine Tate.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've not
bloody hell.
seen that. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Do you know what's Do you know what? Me and my mates have said next time we get together. We forgot to do it. We got together recently, but what we said we wanted to do was next time we all get together, sit down and watch a full hour Andrew Dice Clay set, just to see, because he's the most fascinating comedian. Honestly,
I don't think I know him.
he's dreadful.
Yeah.
Yet he's like. He was the
huge.
first one that was selling arenas and stadiums and stuff,
Okay.
like, and all he was doing was going over, going, "Hey, hickory dickory dock, hey!" and then saying really horrible. Like he's just, honestly, we've got to watch a full hour just to see how he feels an hour of that. Like it's mad. One of his jokes was, "Hey, old Mother Hubbard, yeah, I fucked her." And then everyone starts laughing and cheering. That was it.
That is funny.
How do you do that for an hour?
Fucked her.
That was it. And you've got to see Gilbert Gottfried does an impression of him, and it's just so funny. Like it is ridiculous. He does this whole stand-up routine where he's taking the piss out of Andrew Dice Clay, and it's incredible. Anyway, let's talk about the Quest 3. So I'm
Should
going
say
to
quickly, so Sean LeBeau's mentioned in the chat, so it was Pete's girlfriend, Nikki Graham, who was also on Big Brother. She died.
Yeah,
couple
she
of years
passed
ago.
away. Yeah,
Were they
that was
boyfriend
really
and
sad.
girlfriend? I thought they were different.
They were for a
Yeah.
bit.
Were they? Okay. I
Yeah,
knew
I
Nikki,
remember that.
yeah. It was,
Yeah, it's awful. Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit. Is that it for the news, James?
Yeah. That's
Good.
it.
Let's get back on to. You playing another daily game here while we're finishing, are we?
No, just
Is that
the
what's
one.
going on?
Just the
Okay.
one, yeah.
Come on.
Is he an hour ahead? Because he can get another game in before this podcast ends.
I'm Aaron. Yeah.
Let's get on to what you've been playing. I'd like to start with Ian,
Yes,
because
sir.
you've been playing the Oculus Quest
The
3.
the Oculus 3. I refuse to call it Meta. And
Is it
Yeah,
not?
James?
It's not called the Oculus Quest, is it? It's the Meta.
It's the Meta.
Quest.
The Meta Quest.
Why did I call it that? That's
we call
bad, isn't it?
It is. I call it the Oculus because we are big fans in my house. My boys, my youngest in particular, my 11, well, he's going to be 12 in January. Kim loves it. He has been obsessed with it. Actually, since I've bought this one, he's kind of got a bit bored of it. But and he plays it all the time. He plays a lot of Gorilla Tag and a lot of stuff on there. So this is his Christmas present. He knows I've got it already. Been saving for ages and ages. I sold my
Does he know you've been playing it though?
yeah, because I had to phone him up and go, right, well, I can't log into your account. Well, have you changed the phone number? I don't know if you know this. Your kids are all, maybe, James, I don't know, but your kid, as they're younger, my boys are 11 and 13, and they don't live with me. And every time they come here, actually when they're at their mum's as well, constantly, what's the password for my Steam account? What's the password for Roblox? Do you know what the password is for Minecraft? And they've got different accounts. So my entire time with my kids is looking for fucking passwords.
Do you know, I know exactly what you mean, and using like two-step authentication and stuff, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Because it's my kids are the same.
And you
it's
log
really
in and they go,
irritating.
oh no, that's not the account. That's my brother's account. Oh, Jesus Christ. So I got the Oculus 3 and it came and I've used it a bit, and there are some bits that are great. I'll tell you what, I thought, and maybe I made this up, I get terrible motion sickness with the Oculus, right? I can do a couple of rounds of walkabout mini golf. I can't do any games that involve walking or running or any of that stuff. I get really nauseous, the sweats and everything. And I've tried all the tips to make it good. Like you're supposed to wear a copper bracelet. You're supposed to eat ginger nut biscuits. You're supposed to have a
Are
have
they
you seen?
real? Is there any scientific?
Yeah, they real
basis for those?
things.
I've never.
Ginger's supposed to be good for motion sickness.
Okay.
Right.
So ginger tea, ginger nuts, fan blowing on you doesn't. Well done, David, for not rising to that. Doesn't do
I
anything.
rose to it.
Anyway, I thought the 3 was going to be better for motion sickness.
Have you tried travel sick pills?
They're just sleeping tablets.
Are they really?
The one turns out the pills we used to get in the 70s and the 80s, get them wrapped in a bit of jam. Turns out they were, and I wish you could buy them. They were just sleeping tablets.
No way. I
Don't
didn't
you
know
remember I
that.
was saying when I was talking about Starfield? So there's a friend of mine, his mum they just put her to sleep every time they drove anywhere because she used to get really bad travel sickness.
Oh, what, like the A-Team? Mr. T?
You've done that with your
Really?
kids though, and a bit of cowpole, and you on a long drive.
put 'em to
No,
sleep.
we've been really lucky with the
A
kids
bit,
in the car.
bit of whiskey in the milk, you know.
Okay, that's actually illegal, James. So let's get back to
Again,
the...
growing up in the 70s, you'd get a little bit of brandy in a bottle. Seriously.
Yeah,
And,
what about the 40s, James?
Come on now.
I still got motion sick with the Meta Quest 3, and I was really disappointed about it. That's kind of the negative. The plus side, the color, what do they call it, pass through or see through, pass through. The
Pass-through,
color
yeah,
pass through is brilliant. It's a little bit, the edges are a little bit wobbly and stuff, but it's brilliant. And so I wanted to try some games with the color pass through. First of all, though, I played Gorilla Tag, which is Kim's favorite game. Now, I had never played Gorilla Tag before. Oh my God, it is the most toxic. I went into this lobby and there's these other monkeys running around. I went, hey guys, fuck off. What?
Yeah.
Fuck off. It's like English kids. I said, "Well, I beg your pardon. Fuck off, you cock. And then,
Oh, they recognise you then.
So I said, hey, I then became like that. I said, come on, guys, just calm your language down. Then they said, F off, you see again. And I went, all right, guys, well, I'm off. And then someone went, yeah, fuck off, posh man. And
This is the best.
Could that be the episode title?
Postman.
and I was really hurt. And I said to Kim, Kim, this I played Gorilla Tag. It's a little bit fruity in there. He said, yeah, it's one of the most toxic games on the internet. I said, right, you've been playing it for the last 3 years. Why have you never told me? And anyway, he mutes him. Anyway, so that was a shock. But I did play some games with the pass through. I played a couple. I played Home Detective, right, which gets 3.9. I think 3.9 is a good score. It means it's going to be a little bit shit, but it'll be okay.
Out of 5 or 10?
I think it's out of the 5.
Okay.
And what it is, right? So you stand in your room and you have to scan the room. That's the best bit of the game. You have to look around and move your head up and down. You scan the room and it goes all like fractals all around the room. And then the game starts. And there's a murder scene in your living room. And it's awesome, right? There's the first one is a diamond robbery. And you've got some like tools. And you got the case where the diamond has been stolen, and there's a door there, there's a door there. The sofa has got police tape, do not cross over it on the sofa. And it was good, except there's a really annoying bloke there going, hi, welcome to the Home Detective. You're our latest detective, and you got to find out who stole the diamond. I wonder, why don't you go and get the fingerprint the duster and dust for finger? That's it. You found some fingerprints. Hang on. These fingerprints don't look right. This is too easy. And it's just, you just think, fuck off, man. Let me
do it.
Let me do it. You know what I mean, Sean? Let me do it. Let me solve this diamond crime on my own. So it looks really, really good. The whole thing looks good. There is a robbery scene in your house. He's annoying. The game ain't that good. What I'm hoping is that as over the next few months, over the next 6 months or so, they start making really good games. Because I played another one called Toy Monsters. And it's this thing, and it's the pass through, but it's this little grid game in front of you, and you've got to put traps to get monsters. That's fun.
Right.
But I'm really hoping they start making some big interactive games where it is your room. And everything is situated in your room and you have to walk around and get stuff. There's a couple of shooters like zombies coming through the door and stuff, but I am excited. This Home Detective is not a great game. However, it's actually quite exciting if this is a glimpse of the direction that some of the developers are going to go in. Your room is the battlefield or is the murder scene or is whatever,
Right.
you know. That stuff
So the
really gets me
example
going.
that I saw that looked amazing was the keyboard scanner thing. So if you've got a keyboard, it scans the keyboard, and then the notes come down like you're playing, Guitar Hero, but you're actually playing a keyboard in your front room or whatever. That sort of stuff looks. I'd love to give that a go because it can't work as well as it does in the TikToks or whatever.
I think the dude playing that, because I've seen that, he's a pianist, right? He knows, because there's chords and things that are going on there. It's not just picking the odd note. He's doing chords. However, stuff like that, I think that's incredibly exciting because let's be honest, what I play normally is Walkabout Mini Golf. It is the greatest game on the VR and one of the greatest games of all time.
Yep.
And I'm just worried that I'm going to use this and just go back to playing that. And it's cost me 500 quid or whatever.
Yeah, that was exactly the reason why I didn't buy a new one, because I was thinking if I bought a new one, what would I play on it?
Yeah.
And I would buy it. I'd buy Walkabout Mini Golf and PokerStars VR, which apparently is not called PokerStars VR anymore. It's called something else. But and that's it. I'd just be playing those. And technically, not very well, but I can play them on my Quest 1 at the moment. So what? I don't really need to pay 500 quid to upgrade.
It feels like with VR at the moment that things are in a bit of a lull, really, until the next next
You can
wave.
say this because Matt's not here. Oh shit! It's dead in the water, mate. It's fucking.
Yeah, I don't think it's dead in the water. I think actually it will still have like a good fan base that want to play VR stuff. And I think that will make the gap between the next big leap seem shorter, because it always goes away for fucking ages, doesn't it? VR and then comes back. But this time I think there'll be a steady sort of scene underneath. And
Can I ask you, James? You're the VR guy.
guy.
You bought the PSVR 2.
Yes.
Do you regret that purchase? Do you wish you'd held out for Meta 3?
Not really at the moment. I mean, I did actually play it this weekend. For the first time in quite a while. I played some Beat Saber and Moss Book 2. I started playing some of that. And not particularly because, I don't know. I mean, I don't, at the moment, I don't see anything on the Quest 3 that would make me think I need to get one of these right now. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Do I regret getting the PSVR 2? I'm not sure, really. Probably.
He
slightly.
doesn't need the money. He's fine.
Well, no, that's the only thing. Is it's like, the money is obviously the thing, but it's Yeah, I
all
wouldn't
that
say...
cheese you could have bought.
That's true. I could have bought a lot of cheese for that.
Load of cheese.
Like a lot of cheese.
I mean,
How's it feel on the head? Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
very
how's it
comfortable.
feel?
It's lighter.
It is
controls
lighter.
the controls are smaller. It's I've not played around with like the hand tracking without controls, but it feels more comfortable. It feels good. Christ knows, are they still trying to sell it as like a business thing as well?
So they've sort
There
of
are
pulled
some,
back a bit, but I think the
they
bottom
did
line is it's not going to make enough money as a games console, right? So I think they're still going to.
Well, at that last thing that they did, they announced how it was going to have like Microsoft Word and Office and all this kind of thing on it.
Why do you want to do that? That's nonsense. The pass through is good, but I struggled to read a text on my phone while I was wearing it. It's grainy. It's grainy.
Right.
If you got you can sort of just about read a text, but
because their vision is that you might sort of pick your phone up and then the headset will go, oh, that's your phone, and then it will draw its own representation of that, right? I think that's sort of the dream. But then when do you get to the point where it's like, yeah, but I just fucking take it off?
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed VR is not more commonplace in my industry though. Like I mean, we tried to get it to work a while back in our office to turn around and say, here is a street. Here's what it currently looks like. Snap your fingers or press a button, and then suddenly the new building appears where the old one, and you can look around, and even internally doing some interior design and showing, changing colours of things and sort of getting a feel for it. It was such a ball ache to try and get it to run properly. We managed to get a model working, but even then it was just so janky, even the slightest bit of jank. And then trying to get, the people in my industry are a lot older. Like the average age of people I work with is quite high, so trying to get them to put a headset on and look around is kind of not an option. It will happen eventually.
Surely there's loads of potential for like educational purposes, right? So like historical stuff, like to just go to places and then put the thing on and then it fucking rebuilds what everything looked like 100 years ago, stuff like that.
Yeah, that would
that should be within reach at some
and
point.
it should absolutely
right?
be something they should be focusing on. I think.
See, they've done. I mean, like Ubisoft have done not with VR, but like that kind of thing with Assassin's Creed. Where they've like
That's
done
right,
like walk-arounds and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you would think that that'd be quite a good use for it. But
instead, it seems to be horror is what they want to do with VR at the moment. Everyone's doing, because this is what scares me the most. That pass-through thing. It's going to happen at some point where you use the pass-through thing, and some clever developer will have someone standing in the corner of your room, and you'll go, oh, to take the headset, and they're not there, and then you put it back up, and then they're right in front of your face. That's what's going to happen, and that's why I don't like that stuff. That's why I don't like that stuff.
I'll tell you
that
what, though.
thought is more scary than any of the short, scary stories we told on last night's podcast.
Are you sure?
I'm
not sure about that.
I mean, so we only mentioned this on the bonus show, so I should probably admit in public I have ordered one. But because it's coming through my work salary sacrifice scheme, my boss has to approve it first, and I don't know when he's going to get around to doing that. So it might be a few weeks yet before it actually turns up.
I've never heard of a work salary sacrifice scheme. What is it?
No.
Nah.
It's where basically you buy stuff through work, and then it comes. This is really boring. Comes off. It's like a pre-tax deduction on your salary.
Wow.
So you pay a bit less tax.
So you're dodging tax. Lovely. Nice one, mate.
Oh, this is tax deductible for me as well. So
completely legitimate. Well, that's the thing. So I guess I mean I can't really expense it because I'm buying it that way. So it's probably a bad move.
I'd be keen to. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, and if you think it is a significant. It's really hard to tell if it's a significant leap for me at the moment. The pass through is great. Okay, what else is there? What else can it do?
Does it load up faster? Does it load games faster? Is that?
I mean, it was always the 2 was always fast. I thought. I mean, it's,
right.
Yeah. Although some games I found it was a bit clunky loading up. But yeah.
I like it. I'm a fan of VR. I want them to bring some stuff that's interactive with my environment.
You've also been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Well, very quickly, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the beta. I don't know if have you guys ever played Call of Duty?
Yeah.
It's that basically. It's that, but they've got vehicles and parachutes in. It's that. But very quickly, I want to talk about we were here together. You see, I tend to play like kind of older games, and I think this is about 6 years old. And I saw you, David, and was it Matt that you were playing at We Were Here game?
One of them, yeah.
And I was me and Kim. We like playing these remote games. We played. God, he's 11. This is please don't tell his mum. We played A Way Out together, and I said, man, you've got to turn off the subtitles because if anyone walks in, and it's one of those things. You know, you're watching a film with the kids. Again, you won't because your kids are too short. You get the first fuck. You get by the time you get to the third fuck, you think, oh, we're in now. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So we were playing that. It's the only game I've played twice through, and we loved it. And he's been looking for a co-op game that we could play, and so he found We Were Here together. It is we're big fans of escape rooms. We've done 25, 30 escape rooms, and it's great. It's maybe just a little bit too tough. The first round we managed to work it out. The second round involved lifts. He worked it out. I still don't know what he did. The fourth round involves someone moving like stars and things on a board, and then a bridge is built. We could not do it. So we watched a walkthrough on YouTube, and at the end of it, these guys doing it said, I have no idea what we just did, but we built a bridge. It was unfathomable. However, we are having the absolute time of our lives, and that for me is the best kind of gaming where I can play it with someone, play it with one of my kids, and we're just pissing ourselves laughing at each other and shouting at each other, and one of us going, "Oh, I think I got it," and doing it. That for me is what gaming is all about, and it's lovely and it's family friendly. It's maybe a little bit too tough, but it's an absolute joy. So yeah,
played,
love
It
it.
is super tough.
Have
Go
you
on.
played Escape Academy?
No, what's Escape Academy?
That's on Game Pass, and that's
Write that
that
down.
was made by some people who they worked on like real life sort of gaming experiences, but then COVID happened, so like right, fuck it, we'll make an escape room game. It's really good.
I'm going to
Really
have
good
some of
help.
that. You're a fan of escape rooms, aren't you, Sean?
I am.
We
yeah.
did. We went to Japan and we did this amazing escape room that was 9 carriages on a train, right?
Yeah.
And they were genius. You had an hour, but you could buy another 15 minutes, and you could keep buying extra 15 minutes, and we spent
wow.
a fucking fortune buying our way out. But it was a genius idea. Anyway, I've gone on enough. That's what I've been playing this week.
I did an escape room last week, and it was samurai themed.
Ooh.
And the person that was giving the clues or whatever when you needed a clue started each time with an accent and bottled it halfway through. It was funny. I was
So it was
absolutely wetting
racist themed. Okay.
But they were also running a pirate one, so I was waiting for them to go, hello, hello, you know. So, no, so it's fine. I just said hello, it's fine.
Okay. I don't know if it is fine. You might want to bleep that.
Absolutely bottled it halfway
Doing
through.
an impression of someone else,
Yeah,
acknowledging that it was
being
unacceptable.
It's your podcast.
slightly
My reputation, your podcast.
yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, I really want to take Harry to one of these, but we are way off from that at the moment. Like, he'd be an absolute nightmare in that scenario at this stage.
Oh, we love
You've got
it.
to wait for him to get to the right age.
We love
Also, they're really expensive. This was £25 a head.
it. Yeah.
I'm not spending
Yeah,
£50
they
for.
often- They
Yeah,
get
that's
cheaper when there's
really-
more of you, but then yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Rachel
only
went and
2
did
of
one
us,
this
though.
weekend to shoot like as a party with her friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
So if I just turn up twice with like a moustache and a different hat and one of those, glasses, pretend there's more of us, it'll be cheaper for us, would it?
No,
Don't think you
no,
quite
it
know.
works out cheaper per person. More
Right.
people you
Oh
take.
shit. Yeah. Well, no. I'm
just
not
go.
doing
Well, there's
that.
8 of you. It's actually free.
Okay. Well, talking about playing games in front of your kids and being, I'm bang into Cyberpunk at the moment. I'm so
Yeah, mate.
into it. Like, it
Great, isn't it?
reminds me of when you first played Grand Theft Auto 3 and you were feeling sick at the possibilities and wanting to boot up and run around the world again and wanting to. There's been time like Grand Theft Auto 3. There was times where you just walk and you look around, and obviously it looks crap now, but back then it was like holy shit, and like feeling weird about the rain effect and just thinking this is reality. I'm getting that from Cyberpunk in a big way, but it is killing me, Sean. It is
How so?
fucking killing me because I want to play it all the time. I
Yeah.
can't because the kids are about, and that game does not give you. It does not give you any warnings about when you're going to see a tit, or if you're gonna like. Honestly, I thought it was early in the morning Sunday. Charlie was on his pad, and I thought, I'm going to put some headphones in and play a bit of Cyberpunk. He won't be able to hear the swearing. He won't look up to see all the gut. And there was can you come to my hotel room? So I was like, okay, I'll do that, right? It's a dead person in a bath full of blood. Straight away. So I was like, off. So then Harry was up tonight. And how do I explain this so that people that have played it know the bit that I'm talking about? Harry was like on his laptop and he was just sitting on the sofa on his laptop. I went, right, okay, well, if there's a bit of blood on screen, he's older, he doesn't really care. So I started playing it.
Seen
and
Iron Man
Johnny
2. He's pretty
Yeah,
tough at this point.
It was the Johnny Silverhands scene, and
yeah,
after he gets off stage,
yeah.
and I was like, right, okay,
Yeah.
that's going off,
Because that
it's
whole
just
bit,
banging.
you're like, okay, they're gonna have a snog, and maybe it'll be implied. What? Nope.
No,
not
fully-
implied at
So
all.
yeah.
that is full. You see more than you expect,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I had to turn it off and wait until he went to bed. But yeah,
So I did the same thing because there was a bit I wanted to show Isaac, which I won't spoil
It was that bit.
Yeah, not that bit. Absolutely not that bit. And I was like, I'm not gonna like. This isn't me like sitting and playing the game. There was something I wanted him to like a
James
set
is
piece.
swinging a beer after that gag. You've officially got old. Jesus Christ. God.
No, there was a cool set piece I wanted him to see that was absolutely fine. And then, and then literally turned to a bar, and Johnny Silverhand just starts effing and jeffing. I was like, okay, we'll stop that. There's no one. But it's an 18 rated game, right? I assume
it is an 18 rated game. We're the idiots, and it's just excellent. It's really, really good. I can't stop playing it. There are some I was chatting to John about it, John Denton. He's saying this might now just be my favourite game of all time now in its current iteration. And I'm saying, yeah, but there are still some bits where it's like, here's a big portion of your. There's a lot of side missions, which is great. But when you read some of the side missions, you're like, oh, this is just races. Like, I don't want to do this. And it's like a big old thing in your journal. And then this one is collect 7 cars that are hidden around the thing. And I'm like, really? 7 of them? And I
think you can sort of do that organically as you play.
Right, but then that become annoying because I was doing a mission. I was doing a mission, driving along, and they were like, one of these cars is close by, and it changes your objective point. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
See, that used to be worse. So that used to be every time you entered that area, he'd contact you and be like, oh, yeah, this is where one of my cabs is. I was like, I know, fuck off. Whereas now he just does it once, and then
he leaves you to it.
Yeah. Sorry,
some of those, it'd be nice if you could just like click ignore on them or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or just like archive them or something, and then
because your mobile phone goes off every 2 seconds. It's crazy. But yeah, amazing game if you haven't played it. I've been saying to everyone, or like my mates, I've been just download it and try it now. Chet from Chet and John's turned around and said, "Oh, I've been waiting for it to be playable before I played it," and me and John were like, Now's the time. Now's the time. Just walking around that place is absolutely stunning. So,
like I know, like the last few weeks, I've been saying like, probably on balance, it's probably like still like an 8 out of 10. Nah, I'm quietly forgetting I said that now.
Yeah.
I mean, I finished the DLC for it. The Phantom Liberty, like the main campaign for that, and it's brilliant. Like completely brilliant, and especially towards the end where it changes everything. Like at one point where like the gameplay mechanics change quite a lot, and the things you think you can do you can't do, but you have to like adapt your the way you're playing, and it's just wonderful. Like I really enjoyed it.
So I haven't finished it yet, but without spoiling. So I'm in Black Sapphire at the moment, James.
Oh, okay.
Fucking unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
So good. I
I
don't want to say anything about it. Sorry, go on.
What is, because I played a bit of Cyberpunk after, not when it first came out, but when they made it good. What is the difference? What is different now with the DLC and all of that? What have they done to it?
Like to the main game, it's like 1,000 tiny little things that individually you don't like. So we're talking about that mission where you have to find those cars, right? The fact that it now just tells you once when you're in the area, not multiple times. It's so many little things like that add up. To just you being able to just fucking dissolve into it and just enjoy it.
I think more importantly is that there was a lot of the friction's gone, but I think more importantly in terms of immersion, there was so many things in that game where it would either just stutter or slow down or pause for a bit, and you just didn't have any trust in playing the game because you're like, this could just break at any moment. Or there was a bit where you'd have the cops chasing you, and if you just turned around and turned back, they'd disappear, or vice versa. That you'd shoot someone and you turn around and then there was like 5 cops behind you that weren't there before. It was all these weird sort of quick fixes or bugs that clearly that they were low priority at the time. And now it feels smooth, it looks great, and they've got rid of a lot of this immersion breaking stuff. And now you're not constantly thinking, is this going to break? What weird shit's going to happen? And you can just relax into just exploring the world. And I think that's the bait. Whenever I play a game, I want to be able to trust it in terms of in terms of progression, and that it's not going to screw me over, and that I've got to reload from another save point, or that something's gone wrong, that I'm not going to have to go, it's gone to the dashboard again. I want to be able to trust it, and I was never able to trust Cyberpunk, even after like the 1.5 update or whatever. But now, it feels massively different. It's well worth checking out.
And just the way the skill trees, I think I said this the other week, but like the fact that you now look at the skills you can unlock and you can see it and be like, oh shit, right, that's going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to jump out of a car, slide on my arse in slow motion, headshot 2 guys, then leap into the air, get my fucking mantis blades out, dive on someone else, take their head, like just fucking daft cool stuff like that, like just happens on a regular basis now. It's amazing.
It's also because the storytelling and the scripting is so good in this, and now you don't get that feeling that it's going to break at any moment. That the illusion, like the sort of the immersion, it doesn't get broken, which is that's a huge improvement.
Still not a fan.
And it's funny because I didn't really like the writing originally when I first played through, and it seems better now, even though it hasn't changed.
Although I don't know, because it does feel like some of the edge has been taken off a bit.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
I think maybe that just comes away like later on into the game. They really front load all that
possibly.
edge stuff. You know what I mean? Like to try and
it's
jump
still,
home how bad it is.
It's still really incongruous that like V, the main character, like can certainly be played in like a really sort of sympathetic, thoughtful way, whilst also just like murdering gangsters constantly for money. But who cares?
But that what you're saying, David, about them like front loading a lot of that stuff, like with the dialogue and all that kind of thing at the start. You're right. It doesn't do that. Like in Phantom Liberty, they just let the city speak for itself, and like I was saying last week, like the environment and how it's horrible. Like it's a horrible place, really, like what's going on and everything, and it's communicated a lot better that way rather than having to keep explaining this to you.
Yeah,
We should probably stop talking about our old game and speak about a completely brand new one that come out this week. Forza Motorsport, Microsoft's big hitter. I'm fascinated. How much have you played of this, Sean? Because
you're going to be leading on this because I've played about 30 to 40 minutes.
So you've not got out of the tutorial cup, right? Okay. What did you make of it?
It's, to be clear, I didn't think I was going to like this. I've never really got on with the sort
serious
of
racing,
more serious racing games. I think I just hoped that, like, obviously since I last tried a proper, in air quotes, Forza, played a lot of Forza Horizon like 4 and 5, right, and fucking loved them. And like knowing that this would be different, but thinking like surely it's some of that is going to carry over, right? It's still going to be a shit hot driving game. Okay, there's not going to be sliding around on beaches and shit, but okay, like I enjoy playing Forza Horizon 4 and 5. I love doing like challenges and stuff, and like trying to beat friends' times and what have you, right? So surely that translates, and I don't know.
Well, I think right, for those of you that don't know, like we're not massive we're not like petrol heads at all. I don't know. Whenever I'm around people that are talking about cars, I'm like, I don't know what that means. Not really into cars. Serious racing games, never really, fallen into. Gran Turismo, the recent one, was it 7 on the PS5? Really loved. I really got into it. I really liked how weird it was, and it's Gran Turismo's style is so strange. You play it. Maybe it doesn't. It's not like this, but I don't know how much you know about it, Ian. But you go to a cafe between every race, and then the person in the cafe gives you a menu, and in the menu there's a car, and you pick which car you want from the menu. Like it's all weird.
So like real life,
like
then,
yeah. It's all just. It's got this real weird tone about Gran Turismo, and it feels like if you were to go up to the developers and go, "Who come up with this weird thing?" you'd feel like the reaction you get is, "Well, what's weird about it?" You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like they're trying to be kooky.
Right.
It's just like they've created this world, and they'd be shocked to find that you find it a bit odd. And the problem with Forza, at the start is that this really doesn't even go for any kookiness. This is you load up, it's a very clean menus, and the style is a narrator going, "Welcome to the garage. Here you can update your cars by choosing which tires you want. Will you go?"
Oh.
And I'm going, this is very, it's certainly lacking the sort of punch.
I think
of,
that's kind of, and again, this isn't me criticizing the game or slagging it off. It's not for me. But I was sort of hoping to get, like, from the things you'd said about GT7, I was hoping to feel some of that, like, reverence for, like, engineering and cars and the whole thing where I just didn't. Like you say, it's very clinical to begin with.
Yeah, and I think what concerned me about booting this up was, they're trying to bridge the gap between Gran Turismo and Forza Horizon. Like, that's what it felt like. Obviously, that's not what they set out to do, but that's what it felt like. And I was kind of like a little bit disappointed with it, because I don't think it looks mind-blowing. Like, I'm more impressed by how Forza Horizon looks. And I wish one of these games, like, takes things down a peg a little bit, because I don't know if you've seen the visual effects from a lot of motorbike games like MotoGP and the likes of. There was a mod for Grand Theft Auto where they tried to the resolution went down, and they tried to mimic dash cams rather than these clean reality of, like, these clean real high, like, fidelity cars with the fucking ray tracing and all that sort of shit. When they took things down a bit and made it look a little bit rougher, it looked more realistic. This is too bright and too clean to look realistic, in my opinion. However, once you get out of the tutorial cup, the game then goes, right, how do you want to play? So when you first start it up, it goes, how do you want to play? What sort of rule sets do you want? Do you want no rules? Do you want medium amount of rules, so that damaging your car actually damages your car rather than just cosmetic? Do you want to get punishments for going off track, for collisions and stuff like that? Or do you want it to be really strict, like real racing? And then it says, well, how fast do you want the other racers around you? Do you want them to, really push you, or do you just want to be in first place every race? But after that, it then goes into how much brake assist do you want? And if you fuck around with that, oh my god, I found, like, the perfect level for me, where it just feels like every single race I'm battling to get on that podium. Not necessarily running away with it in first place, but you are sweating approaching every single fucking corner. Because you're just thinking, if I fuck this, it's game over.
Because I thought, like, initially I should start with all the assists on, but you barely have to play it. Like, because it controls.
That's it,
yeah, because it's like, because it breaks for every corner for you.
Yes,
and
that was irritating the shit out of me.
Yeah. I was just like, no, the thrill of it, or at least what I got out of, like, Forza Horizon 4 and 5 was that of, like, daring yourself to, like, not quite slow down enough for certain corners, right, and try and push it. Whereas this is like, no, slow down, it's fine. But that's so I think, but obviously that's a decision I've made, right, to leave that on, and I can change that, so I will.
It also does that thing. It doesn't have a good first impression, this game, because it does that thing that sounds good on paper, where it says, here's a practice race in a really fast, amazing sports car, and then once you do that, it's like, right, now, do you want a Corsa, or do you want a do you want a Fiesta? And you're like, well, no, oh no, what it's doing, it's showing you what you're working up to. Well, don't. Because now I fucking hate my Fiesta that's going 40 miles an hour.
It's like when you finish learning to drive and then you look at the sort of car you can actually afford.
Yeah, it's a pile of shit. But once you get over that hump, man, oh my god, it is intense, and it's really fucking good fun. I still think part of me likes the oddness of Gran Turismo and how seriously it takes everything. The specific driving challenges that I was constantly doing. I love that element of Gran Turismo. With this, I just thought the racing was so thrilling, like proper on the edge of my seat throughout the whole race. And then when I took it online, my word, that was fucking fun. I'd love to do like a 4-player just race with you guys at some point, because it's just it. I mean, you do the practice laps and then it builds up to the actual race, and then the race begins. And I was battling it out with this one guy for third and fourth place throughout this, like, for the last 4 or 5 laps. And then he cut in front of me on the last lap and then slammed his brakes on too quickly. So I just tapped him on the back and he span out of control and sent me an absolutely horrific message on Xbox 5. It was quite strong. But I was so close to just going, well, you shouldn't have braked. Oh, come on now. That wasn't quite my fault, was it? But I didn't. I just left it. But my word, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I got sent code for Gran Turismo, and I played this because it's on Game Pass. I don't think I would go out my way to spend £70 on one of these games, because I do look like I've got a short attention span for them. I'll play them for a week or two and then tend to put them away. Unlike Forza Horizon, which I play hundreds of hours of. This I really, really enjoyed, but whether I would have gone out and paid that amount of money to play it, I really doubt it. But if you've got Game Pass, then, and you're interested in a game like this, I suppose that's what's cool about the Forza series, right? If someone comes up to me and says, I want to play a racing game, well, what do you want to do? Do you just want to bomb it around a town and like, smash through fences and shit? Because they've got that. But if you want to do like track racing and stuff, then get Motorsport, because that's, So I think if you do start it and you think, nah, this ain't for me, get past that first cup, and then it opens up a lot more. And it's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It's a good
No,
game.
I will go back to it.
Definitely go back to it. Definitely go back to it.
I will.
We've got a short amount of time for your game, Sean, before we go to questions.
I mean, one of them's going to be very quick. Isaac's well back into Minecraft for some reason.
Harry
to
loves
the point that, cause it was his birthday last weekend. Sorry, weekend
Yes.
before. And I didn't realise he'd been like, one afternoon he had his bedroom window open and saw our neighbour in her garden just started talking at her about Minecraft. so she got him like a 20 quid Xbox voucher for his birthday.
Whoa,
Which was really
fantastic.
nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. She's like, he's telling me all about his village that he's built. He's not built in a village, he's bullshitting. But
he's grifting.
Yeah. It's just
He
been
knew what he
interesting
was
to me, someone who's, gone sort of back and forth in Minecraft over the years and like always loved it, but never delved into like the marketplace stuff, which has been there for years at this point.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Fucking
as well.
nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
What's in
Like,
there?
so for example, because I think with Game Pass, I think everyone at the moment gets 3 months of what they call Realms Plus.
Yeah, Realms Plus. Yeah, Ashley's got that.
Which is not unlike Game Pass, right? So it's like a subscription, and then there's loads of stuff on the store that's just free to you because it's part of Realms Plus. And so we're going through it, and there's this one that's called Love Pets, right? And Isaac loves animals, so he's like, "Oh, get that one. I want a dog." I'm like, okay. And it's a whole other game. Like it's a mod, but it's like it's this contained like this little village, and you hatch pets out of eggs, and then you have to look after them, and you take them to go to the spa or to the vet if they're poorly, and you got to feed them. And then there's all these like robots that live in this village, and you have to like do little quests for them to get money. And it's just there's loads to it, and it's got its own music and all custom graphics and stuff. And that's just one of them. There's fucking loads of these
because a lot of these, they're almost like they're getting close to like total conversions. You know, like things where it's like entirely new games almost. It's
turning into Roblox.
Because this is it, and clearly that's. I mean, I don't know which came first, right, in terms of that sort of user-created content stuff, but it's clearly doing a similar thing. But it's just reminded me of that, the "Come Dine with Me" mod, which they called "Come Mine with Me."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I remember, like, when I first watched the video, I was saying, like, I don't understand how is this in Minecraft? How does it work? And I think I'm gonna have to buy it.
Well, so hang on, there's a mod for Minecraft where you do come dine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a little town, and I guess you like pick a house each to be like your house.
And you cook.
And you have to. Well, this is it. I don't know. I'm
Wow.
not sure. But now that I've seen the scope of how some of these things work, it's like, oh yeah, maybe they did just like add cooking. I don't know.
Wow.
But it's like a $5, and if it's good, I think it'll make an incredible stream.
Oh, you guys have got to do that. You've got to do that.
Yeah. So
we're in talks to do a charity stream next month, and maybe that's the one.
Ooh, that might be really good.
Maybe that's the one. Because there is part of me worried that we've agreed to do a charity stream, and then it's all like it's a really dark video
what
game
should
with
we
lots
do?
of death
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's got the same sort of
Yeah,
feeling
God,
that they're
maybe
going
that's
for.
it. So yeah, it's Minecraft's really good. And we didn't put it in the news, did we, James? But it's just sold how many million copies?
300 million.
Holy shit!
It's like way ahead of like GTA 5 now. Like, yeah, by a lot. It's
Wow.
nuts, isn't it?
and there's new stuff coming in 2024 as well. Like they've got this whole like they're doing like procedurally generated dungeons and stuff. And,
Okay.
some other stuff. I mean, Asher
They've
was
certainly
really
done a
excited
lot
about
with it
this.
since buying Minecraft, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Asher was really excited about the whole thing, and he was furious when because they've like the mob vote thing as well, like where they were like voting for what the next one's going to be, and it was like the one that he didn't want the most as one, and he was just really annoyed. It's like why?
He reminds me of you so much. Go on.
The last one is RoboCop Rogue City.
Oh, I
wanna
saw
hear
you
about
playing
this.
this the other day. This looked absolutely brilliant.
Mate. I'm not like a big RoboCop guy, obviously. I know enough to know that it is satire. Like a lot of people don't seem to not actually get that. Like it's supposed to be horrible that this man died and then they made him carry on doing his fucking job. Like it's supposed to be atrocious, right? And yeah, so was it a couple of months ago, or maybe longer ago than that? There was a trailer for it.
There was trailers and there's been previews, and then people were kind of like weird about it and were like, "Oh, this looks not very good," and all that.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because that first trailer was like, oh, because you know how RoboCop like moves, and he just sort of walks into a
They were
room,
like
pulls his gun
gears and batteries and that.
You what, sorry?
That's what
Oh, yeah,
the
motors,
gears and batteries
motors.
and.
Yeah, or servos technically.
Yeah,
Well, I went for it, and they don't always land. I went for
Point
it.
is, it didn't look like a compelling shoot 'em up, did it? Because it was so slow. Because that's how he operates, right? Yeah. So now that there's a demo of it on Steam Next Fest. So yeah, I played it as part of my stream last week. It's very good. It's really like so. So it leans into that style of shooting. The whole point is like, yeah, you're a walking tank, right? And it is like a bit of a shooting gallery, but you like you're kind of invincible. You can take a lot of bullets, but you are also slow, right? So there'll be like 5 guys all peppering you with bullets, and you have to like headshot all of them. It's violent as fuck. Like, and again, in keeping with the films, right? There's like limbs coming off everywhere, blowing people's heads off, etc. Like, and in a way that it's just like, yeah, this is quite good fun actually. Turns out quite like a really wild violence occasionally, but it gets the satire right, and it gets what the films were trying to do, and I don't want to spoil it, but there is some really interesting stuff. It reminded me a bit of the weird stuff in the Arkham games. Right?
Oh,
Batman
really?
Arkham games, where
Oh,
messing
that
with
stuff's great.
Batman's perception and losing his grip on reality, etc. There's a bit of that going on, and there was one, and obviously anyone listening to this who watched the stream will know. There was it did this one sort of little visual sort of rug pull, right? And for a second I was like, oh, that must be a bug or something. They got that wrong. Like, that was weird. And then was like, no, fuck, hang on. No, fuck, that's amazing. That's such a clever thing. Like, it's just, yeah, I really don't want to spoil it. But I was super impressed by this. It sort of alternates between, so like, yeah, you start out, you arrive at this scene where this gang have taken over this building, and you just marching your way through, shooting them all. But then after it, you're in the police station, and you being a policeman, and like, obviously there's the front
Sitting
desk
at
at
your
the
desk.
police station, right? Well, sorry.
sitting at your desk, sort of
More-
complaining
yeah,
about.
So at the front desk, this one cop's like, "Look, this line's really long. Can you help me out?" And you get to answer people are coming into the station and asking you stuff, and you get to be a cop and answer people's questions or arrest them or fine them for things and make little decisions. So that was really fun and interesting. It's cool because it takes a dim view of like the way the police operate, but without being like fully they're not like villains. It's just the institution and the way things are set up is not necessarily in serving the public trust. So that seems quite nuanced and quite well done. Yeah, it's fucking really good.
What's the studio that did this? Is this the same one that did the Terminator game as well? That
Yes.
was also quite good.
Yeah,
Right.
because I haven't played the Terminator game, but again, it keeps coming up. But they also did this Terminator game that was secretly decent.
Yeah.
Have you played the Terminator one? Have you? Or are you
I've
just
not, no, but
aware
it's
of it?
again, I keep hearing about it that it's supposed to be like surprisingly good.
It's just
Cool.
really
When's
nice.
it out?
Soon? Is it like a month away? I think it's next
It is
month,
soon
isn't
because
it?
it's on my list of like stuff
Yeah.
I was looking at. But
On consoles, is it?
yeah,
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it looks really good as well. It's definitely got a style, but there's just something weirdly lifelike about it. And I don't know. I was just really pleasantly surprised that because obviously like the RoboCop video games have never tried to do or have any sort of message akin to the films, right? They were
Nah,
always
it's just
just
usually
shooting.
side-scrolling shooting games, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Whereas this sort of has its cake and eats it because it has got some very fun shooting and people's limbs getting blown off, but it also seems surprisingly thoughtful as well. Really impressed.
From the time this comes out, it'd be about 15 days away to release.
Cool.
That's quite good.
17 days away currently.
Yeah.
Should we
Why
get
would you
to
say that? I'm
questions?
talking about from when it's out. You know.
I know. I just
I'm trying to help people.
It's these microaggressions that sit uncomfortably with me. And David, I think you need to look at yourself and ask yourself, why are you doing this?
the answer is because it's funny.
There's literally no point in doing
really
that.
cheers me
There
up, puts a
wasn't.
smile on my face. So what are you gonna do about that, James?
I'll come around there and kick the shit out of you. That's what I'll fucking do. Pig's vagina.
Should we get the questions?
Yeah, I'll do a few questions. If you want to send us one, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Simon Moorcraft says, "Evening all. No offence to Dan, Mike and Sid, but James has to be my favourite and most memorable member of TCGS. And I don't think I'm alone. So my question is..."
Oh, that's tickled my pickle, that has. What a lovely email.
I don't think I'm alone. So my question is, what percentage of the TCGS audience would you lose if James was to, quote, "Jake it in and give up the pod"? Thanks for the pod.
Percentage?
I wouldn't be here tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I would not be here tonight.
So then sort of like, 0.4%. Then
I think
don't
it would be gradual, right? I think there would be people who'd be like, "Oh, well, James isn't on it anymore, but I'll no, the other guys are all right. I'll persist." And then after sort of week 4 or 5, I'm like, nah, it's not the same.
Yeah, Ian, you've got the most experience in, how a show can change and affect numbers. What would your prediction be? James goes.
I think, well, first of all, I just want to ask James, are you playing coffee golf right now? Because you're on to a new day.
No, actually, that's a good point. That is a good point. I thought of that.
I think you guys are like the Beatles or the Monkeys. I think you remove one, the whole structure falls
don't
apart.
say that.
You need each other, and
Don't
you are
say that,
locked
'cause
into
James
this.
might quit one day.
You are locked into this for the rest of your lives.
It's true. Like I never. Yeah, I would never change anything about.
I do know
this
which
show.
members of the Monkeys you are. Right, Sean, you're Mike Nesmith.
Is that good?
Matt is
Is
Nicky
that good?
Dolenz. Dave, you're Davy Jones, and James, you're Peter
Main
Talk.
one. Main one. I'm the main one. That was
James
the
is too
long
busy
way
playing
around the
golf.
sun. I'm the main one.
No, Sean's the main one. But anyway,
Okay, that's not true, is it?
keep
Got a-
pretending to pay attention.
the absolute worst person.
Dear
I
listener,
cannot believe-
James is playing coffee golf and not even pretending to be part of the
This is
podcast
day.
at this moment.
This is day 2. I mean, it's like it's brilliant. Yeah, go on.
I cannot believe we. I can't. Why did we agree to split the Patreon money 4 ways? Like that, I don't understand how we came to that decision.
Because I have to put up with all this shit from you.
Well, fuck off then. Should we get to the next question, Sean?
MD Krabuffs says, after a spectacular workplace accident, you are offered a cybernetic upgrade by the All Our Products Are Stolen from Video Games Corporation. What work are you having done?
Oh, good
Got to be
question.
something from Cyberpunk, isn't it?
That's cheating, though.
James.
That's cheating, because that means you can just have anything.
Yeah.
What from video games? Sort
Yeah.
of just like supersonic speed. I'll be Sonic.
No, that's not a
James just missed it.
cybernetic upgrade.
Oh, it's not.
is it?
It's got to be a cybernetic one.
Okay, tell you what. Yeah, you can be as fast as Sonic if you're in a robot hedgehog body.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, okay.
It's got to be better than the
Make that deal all
current
day.
body I've got.
I would be a la Metal Gear Solid. I want to be transformed into a cardboard box that
Yes.
can crawl along.
But you can just
Because
get
no
a
one will be
cardboard
able
box.
to see you. It's basically invisibility, isn't it?
It's
It is.
invisibility.
Yeah.
Although Sean's made a good point that I could just get a cardboard box. So
I feel like I've ruined it, but actually I've opened up a whole
whole
new-
world of possibilities. Next time you have me on, it's just going to be.
You're in a couple box. James, do you remember the question or?
Yeah. Do you know what I'd like to be able to do? I'd like to be able to pick up flowers and then like do the Mario Fireflower thing. You know,
Yeah,
like
he
just
didn't
chuck
remember.
flames
He
and things.
didn't.
not-
He
it's
didn't
not
remember the question,
Not
Sean.
a cybernetic
He
upgrade.
Oh, it's not okay. Well, it's not a cybernetic ability. But do you know what? Right.
When
I'm
he
having
said,
an
"Do you know
absolute-
what I want to do?" I genuinely thought he was going to say, "Suck his own dick." I really,
That is outrageous. Quite
really
upsetting.
thought that's where that was going to
He
go.
can
Doesn't
though. It's
like
big
it when you
enough. He
talk
can
about
get the
his
tip.
genitals, Ian.
James, right?
Fuck off.
Can I just say?
Go on.
I'm proud of you because you went into. I said, "Do you remember the question?" And you said yes, and you gave it a good go, but it was a completely wrong answer. It had nothing to do with the question. But I'm proud of you for just going for it because that
know what, though?
exposed.
You're going to be well pleased. I've totally fucked this round, right?
Good.
Like absolutely. One of these holes, right? I got stuck under a tree, and it's taken 10 shots to get out.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Fuck me. We
Yeah.
need to dock him some.
Absolutely
What's the
ridiculous.
next-
Interestingly,
what's the next question?
there's a question from Lee here. It says, considering the amount of abuse Dr. James Farley receives on a weekly basis from his co-hosts, I was wondering if you consider increasing his cut of the Patreon. It might help to
Absolutely
offset
not.
some of the guilt I experience as I laugh out loud at his mispronunciations, low effort contributions, and general ineptitude each week.
20 shots. That's
Oh
20
my
strokes
God,
that's
that is
taken.
He's not getting more
Okay,
money.
but
for
how many
that.
shots of golf?
He's had 20 strokes while listening to these questions.
I did warn you about that cheese, boy. I don't know. I think he earns. I think he should be happy with every penny he gets. To be honest with you, don't worry about James. He
Yeah,
does
it's all right.
much
Yeah, it's
for it.
fine.
The Love
Alright.
Guru says, question, great work as always, lads. Look forward to the show every week. My question is this. Why has Dave not mentioned that as well as doing the show, he is also currently pretending to be a guy called Luke on Married at First Sight UK at the moment? He's our favourite husband on the show, though Jake and Paul are very sweet, and I cannot believe he hasn't plugged TCGS during filming. Seems like a missed opportunity. Anyway, love that you're branching out, the Guru. Now, I looked this
Oh,
up.
No.
Yeah, it's A, it's not flattering, and B, I think he's just been kicked off the show for punching someone. So it's,
I've just seen it.
He's just a guy with hair, though. That's all it is.
That's all you are, Dave. That's all you are.
But look at that hair. You were kicking off about this show recently, Ian, and I was 100% with you.
Well, no, we got into Married at First Sight Australia, but
Yeah.
we've moved on from that now, and now it's 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, which is insane. It's these Americans fall in love with people online, and they go over to their country and decide whether they're going to fall in love. And it's a mixture of, you might get a genuine couple that are in love. Quite a lot of the people that are living abroad living in extreme poverty and will do anything to get out of that. A lot of them are just Americans that are sex tourists, though, and travel the world making love.
Yep.
It is
Big Ed.
It's one hell of a show. One hell of a show.
Yeah, no, we watched that. We watched that a while back, and my favourite was the guy from Spain who was over in America visiting a potential wife, and the family sitting down saying, "You just want to live here, don't you?" And the guy going, "No, I'm from Spain. Spain's way nicer than this." And they couldn't wrap their head around. I want to take her with me back to Spain where it is better. And they were like, no, admit it, you just want a green card. No, I don't want to go anywhere near this place ever again after this. Like, it was really funny. But no, the comment you made about Married at First Sight
Yes.
was they don't get married.
No, they
At
don't.
first sight.
I thought that they got married. They have a big ceremony, but they're not actually married. I thought the premise was they get married. They then, after a month, 3 months, whatever it is, they then get divorced or they stay together. It's a con.
It is a con. I was right because, people saying, "Oh no, actually no, of course no, they don't get married. That's fine." This the whole concept for the show. It's the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
Yeah, kills it for me. Have we got any more? Sure.
Yeah. One last one from Maria Mendieta. Dear TCGS KO, had James got the GTA 6 reveal right last week, it would have been the equivalent of a lucky critical hit attack in video games. While games like Monster Hunter play around with what chance-based stats like affinity can achieve, should luck factor into wins in games, or do you believe this mechanic has run its course in 2023? Keep up the stellar work.
I've never understood it. Even for it was my main complaint about Disco Elysium, wasn't it? It was like, but I want to do this thing, but you might not be able to. It's like,
but that's the point of it. It's just, that's what life's like, isn't it? It's sometimes it just doesn't work out.
It's a roll of a dice, baby. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's just irritating. And you even told me that you save scummed it a few times because you wanted to do something. It was you failed, so you just went back to the save previously and tried it again.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to believe that I did say that because I don't remember. And I can't be bothered
No
to
point
argue.
arguing these days, is there?
Yeah.
I mean, but what if I said, "Oh, I think poker's not very good because there's an element of luck in it. I think it should be completely fair."
That's a good point. There's a bit of luck to
It's that the element of chaos is what makes it work, right?
Yeah, I suppose
among
you're
other
right.
things, but
I love a bit of chaos. That's how it's got to. It's much more interesting with games.
he's got
when it's
ADHD.
like that.
Look,
If I could eliminate the luck from any game that I could play, it wouldn't be the National Lottery, Sean. It would be Knock Knock Who's Bear, because I don't know what Charlie does, but he knows exactly what bear is behind each door. And he just go, Knock Knock Who's there? I think it's Green Bear. It is Green Bear. How? How do you know? Well, I just knows behind that door. Brilliant.
he's psychic.
But I've tried 15 and haven't got it right once. He even goes, in Knock Knock Who's Bear, right? You've got to say which colour bear you think it is, but there's ones that have all the colours on. So no matter what you say, you're right, right? They're the sort of Joker cards, right? But he doesn't say that. He goes, Knock Knock Who's bear? I think it's the family bears. And he gets it right. And I'm like, fuck this, I ain't playing this no more. You cheating. You've memorised them all. I'm
This
sick
sounds
of it.
good. I might. What's this on? It's on the Xbox.
Do this for the charity stream. Knock Knock Who's Bear. I'm in 25 quid easily.
Yeah, what do you think, James? Are you listening?
Well, yeah, I've already told you. I mean, we talked about this just before you started talking to Sean.
Were you listening, Dave?
Yeah,
Were
I mean,
you
obviously
listening?
you weren't. You just assumed that you sort of
Trying
have
to
another
catch him
dig at
out,
me.
and he's done me there. He's absolutely done me there. He's absolutely done me. Are we done for this week?
We are done.
Socials, James Farley.
Oh, I've never heard this bit before.
Oh, so good.
Okay. Sean, are you streaming on Thursday?
It's all in the doc, James. It's all in the doc.
Oh, you are? Okay, I didn't know if it had been updated. Okay, so on Thursday, Sean will be streaming Starship Titanic. Yeah, so look out for that. That'll be good. On Friday, I probably am going to play more Star Trek, which would be good. But
Yeah, but you said that last week, and I saw you this week. Like this weekend, you just tweeted, "Yeah, I ain't doing a stream." I was like, oh, okay. That's a bit serious from James there.
See, I
It
always
was
get, I always
Friday.
get shit when I cancel mine. And I always like try and give a reason, whereas
Yeah.
James is just like, nah.
James is like, nah,
I
it's
just
not happening
didn't.
tonight.
Yeah,
Which
look,
is
I just
fine.
wasn't
I
feeling
just-
it. Okay, and
No,
I didn't
no,
want to.
that's absolutely fine. I just, for some reason, I always get stick for cancelling mine, even though it's like,
He's like
yeah, I feel
Axl
really
Rose.
ill.
James Farley's like Axl Rose. Whether he's going to show up or not, no one fucking knows.
Either way, I'll be back for that. But I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to is around Halloween. I'm going to do that Ghostbusters VR game. And I
Oh,
think
nice.
That will hopefully
yeah.
be fun.
Can you get a Ghostbusters costume though, please?
Do you know that might actually be possible?
Yes,
I could
get
probably
it.
do that. I'll have a look on
Yeah.
Amazon see what I can find. So we got that. If you've got Twitch Prime game, no, which one is it? Right? Is it? Oh, I don't remember what
Don't
this
help
is.
him, Sean.
If you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, you can subscribe to us, and we'd appreciate that. That'd be nice. We've also got a Patreon at Patreon. Is it patreon.com/tcgsco? I'm assuming. And then we've also got a website which is tcgsco for everything else. So thank you.
Thank
He's
you.
so polite.
Thank you.
Ian, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Yeah, man.
It's funny. Is every time you come on, it feels like you're more and more part of the team every time.
Oh,
and
God.
now it's going to get to the point where it's going to get too relaxed, and we're going to take it too far. That's
I'm gonna
my
say something really
concern.
horrible.
You can never take it too far. Of course, I'm now going to spend the next 3 days going, oh shit, I didn't say enough. I wasn't, because of low self-esteem and insecurity. It's a pleasure. I always enjoy hanging out with you, and I love your show. So thank you for having me on.
Random
Thank you for coming on
access memories.
Google it.
Search
Just Google it.
Google it.
Just
Just
Google
Google it.
Google me.
And we will catch you next week. Thank you so much for living it. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. We love you. Good boy.
Chaz, chaz,
Bye.
chaz.
Goodbye.